Hello, folks. Welcome to the start of round 4. Actually, we're an hour into round 4 of the Tuesday night marathon. And my name is Paul Whitehead. I'm a FIDE master at the world famous Mechanics Institute Chess Club. And so welcome, everybody. And we've got some incredible lineups this evening. We've got Grandmaster Patrick Wolf is playing on board 3. He's playing 11-year-old Eric Lee, the top 11-year-old chess player in the country. And that's going to be very exciting indeed. Let me say, I am at the world famous Mechanics Institute Chess Club, the oldest chess club in the United States. Our website is chessclub.org. This club is a very active chess club. We hold classes, chess tournaments. We have amazing history here. World champions have played here. Capablanca played here. Spassky has played here. Tal has played here. We have a few current world champions that have not darkened our door, and we're issuing a challenge out to them, as we have been. Magnus Carlsen, where are you? Vishy Anand, where are you? And Vladimir Kramnik has also not visited this club. After Anatoly Karpov, it's been a bit of a drought, and but that's a loss for the players that I've just mentioned. This is an amazing place that with a lot of history, and I think it would benefit these world champions if they came and visited us here as well. The last world champion we've had here is Hu Yifan came and visited and here last year, and it was an amazing experience. Many people turned out, and so we're gonna jump right in to round 4 of the Tuesday night marathon. I'm hoping for some exciting games. I'm hoping for some blunders. I like making fun of my contemporaries here. In some of them, I was playing chess before they were born. Anyway, so here we go. Let's see. Let's start on the top board. This is the incredible Sos Hakobian is white, and he's rated 1800 and something. And he is on board 1 with a perfect score, playing National Master Tenzing Shah, who you kind of expect to be there. Sos beat FIDE Master Ezra Chambers in a really nice game last week. So here we are. Sitting next to me is longtime Mechanics Institute Chess Club member and mentor of mine, Joe Tracy, who I met in 1972 here at the club. Joe's been a member since the 1960s. It's absolutely incredible that
68.
68. It's absolutely incredible that we're still sitting here so many years later. Mm-hmm. I was a little kid when I joined, and now I'm an old man, and Joe is a young man still.
Oh, sure.
So we're looking at Sos Hakobian, and I'm going to call Sos the Cinderella of the rounds. He's he can do no wrong here. He's 3-0. He did get a forfeit win, I think, in the first round, but he's come on strong, beating National Master Ezra Chambers in the last round, and that was a shocking upset. Okay, so let's see. Hakobian is white, and Shaw plays the French defense against him, which Sos used to beat Chambers in the last round. So, okay, we have this advanced French defense. Now, I've got to tell you folks right away, I'm a FIDE master. I've got a few notches under my belt. I played some very good players back in my time, but my opening theory is really Stone Age. So do not expect the most up-to-date analysis. However, I believe in the principles of chess, which have not changed for many, many years, even before the latest opening twists. So we have a typical kind of advanced French here, popularized by Nimzovich back in the 1920s, I guess, or maybe even earlier. A fairly typical kind of French opening. Black seems to have a nice free game here. Very normal kind of position here. And Black is thinking. So this is going to be, I told everybody that I was going to make some predictions, Joe. I was going to make some predictions, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out of my way, although, and actually predict, even though I'm friends with everybody here in the club, I'm going to predict winners and losers in this round, and may, somebody strike me down for making a bad choice or impugning their ability at chess. But I'm going to say Tenzing Shaw seems to be in good form this tournament, and he's 3-0 and playing good chess, and he just is. He's a strong player, and I'm gonna pick him over Sos in this game. We'll see. Sos is having the tournament of his life so far. We'll see what happens. All right, let's go to board 2, where Kyron Griffith, a player that's just moved into the area and is just like a 2450 FIDE master with an IM norm under his belt to boot. Very confident chess player. He's playing National Master Conrado Diaz from the Philippines, who I have a lot of respect for, a very solid, strong, natural player. These two players met once before in the last Tuesday night marathon, and Kyron won the game. And so now they're playing again, and Diaz, I'm sure, would love to get revenge. This opening, it could go either way. This position is Black has some positional trumps. White's playing for an attack. It could go either way. If White doesn't crash through, maybe the long-term positional pluses that Black seems to have on the queen side might end up in his favor. Kyron is extremely in form right now and very confident, and also it's easier to attack. It's easier to make attacks, and I like White's already has an attacking stance. I'm going to go out on another limb and say I'm going to take Kyron Griffith over Diaz in this game again. Sorry, Conrado. Board 3 is really the matchup of the evening. We have an 11-year-old phenomenon, Eric Lee, who is he's a national master, and he's the top 11-year-old in the country right now, Joe. So he was playing chess.
11?
He's 11.
Oh, my God.
He's the best 11-year-old.
Jeez.
Of all the 11-year-olds, he's the best. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like 25 now. He's 2250 right now.
He's 2250 or something.
Yeah.
So
my God.
Yeah. I mean,
Jeez.
this guy's good. But on the other hand, he's playing Grandmaster. 25, 50, I'm not sure what.
26.
26, 23, Grandmaster Patrick Wolf, who is a bit rusty. I will have to say that Patrick's a bit rusty. And Patrick gave up a draw to an A player earlier on in this tournament, and I'll have to go with Patrick Wolf. And this position also seems like it's nothing much going on here. There's a couple of queenside weaknesses that maybe Black is starting to take aim at here. On the other hand, I like Black positionally, and he seems to be sort of tying White down a little bit here. But it's too early to call. So we're going to go to the next game, and that is Stearman versus Ivanov. Let's go back to the opening here, folks, because this opening was not one that the players blitzed through this. I was told by International Master Prasanna Rayo that this was all book, and maybe he can come in to clarify this, or the players themselves will at some point. But this is what happened. It was another French defense, and this is the kind of thing that you see in the Karpov Korchnoi matches, but it got tactical very quickly. And again, this is apparently this is book, and just goes to show you. Look at this: knight takes g7, folks. The players were blitzing out their moves, or at least White was. Perhaps Black was testing bishop check. So if king takes bishop, queen takes knight check is not something I think that Black wants to do. So he plays up. Now pawn to bishop 3, threatening bishop to bishop 2 check. Bishop c2 check. That just shows how old I am. Bishop to bishop 2 check. They don't do that anymore. Black plays knight h5. This threatens now king takes bishop. So White retreats back to e3. Now, I was looking at this position back here with Mr. Rayo earlier, and we thought that bishop c1 was the right move, and apparently it's book. Because then after Black plays f5, White can play bishop takes e6. But now after bishop e3, the threat is queen g4 check, but Black has f5, and now White can't play bishop takes e6 and has to attack in this other way. All right, the knight's under attack, and the knight goes back to f6. Let's look. That looks logical to me. White plays pawn takes pawn check. Pawn takes pawn. Queen g2 check, and that's going to pick up the bishop on h7, I think, on h2 rather, or at least a piece somewhere in here. And that's a cool move. That's a very cool move. Mm-hmm. b6 with the idea of bishop b7. Black is a very calm move. It's funny that Black didn't play b5, which is b6 looks very restrained. For all I know, this is still book. I'd hate to find out for sure, but it's White's move here. And what's White going to do?
White has a problem.
Joe says White has a problem.
Yeah.
If pawn takes knight, bishop b7, and bishop b7 is coming up. All right, so, okay, White could play bishop c2, which would threaten queen takes g4 check. So then what happens? So if White plays bishop c2,
I think if he goes there,
right, that
going there, this goes there. So,
right.
So this is no problem.
Right. But maybe Black plays h5. Like if White plays bishop c2, right, then maybe Black could play h5, and that renews the threat of playing bishop b7. Very, 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 very interesting position. and I'm not sure exactly what's going on. We can just speculate. And that's what we're doing here because we're not using analysis boards here.
Well, let's see.
And we're using our brains instead of Stockfish, even though Stockfish has a better brain than we do.
So what if he
But
goes?
we're trying our best.
He goes there.
So bishop c2, h5.
He goes
Let's
there.
try h5 after bishop c2.
And now he can take.
Now maybe you can take on play fg4, but then bishop b7 and bishop f5 check. And then bishop to e4. So that's working out well for white all of a sudden.
If he goes there, he goes there.
Bishop c2,
He takes
h5,
that.
f takes g4, bishop b7, right? Then bishop takes f5 check, king moves, bishop to e4. And white is getting out. White is slipping out, I think. Let's just leave this very complicated position and quickly go. We've got some more of the boards. This is a very fascinating matchup to me. This is FIDE master, strong FIDE master Andy Lee versus women's FIDE master Segmed Munkschulen, who is a very strong player in her own right. And this seems to be the tournament of the French defenses. Is every game a French defense, Joe?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is, French defense. Let's just give it to black is and another advanced variation of the French, just like that other game. Black's playing a much more modern, I think, with the other game where knight g7 was played. This time black is playing a more modern line, and this is a pawn sacrifice. White is sacrificing a pawn. Very interesting. Andy Lee is a very enterprising player. Always white will have some compensation in these positions. A lead in development and the pawn at e5, these kind of things lead to vague compensation. More space. Black has trouble getting his pieces out of the box, and even though this is speculative, it's a game. All right, so I'm not really gonna. Let's see what happened. Knight to b3.
Now wait a bit.
Okay, so black.
Click that out. Then.
White decided not to take en passant, and that's an interesting decision because white is playing a sort of the old Nimzovich style, which is to keep that pawn at e5, whereas you'd think that with white having given away a pawn already, he might decide to take on f6 and open the game up quickly while he's better developed. So could go ef6, knight f6, rook e1. Maybe white just thought that black was going to play bishop e7 and castle out of this quickly enough. I'm not sure. But anyway, this is a decision on white's part to just kind of play a developing game with sort of playing the trumps in these positions, which is the dark squares, the lead in development, the solid pawn on e5, all leading to these kind of cramping positions. And black has to be careful here. She's way behind in development. Give us a piece of your mind, Joe.
This one is going there.
That
Instead,
right.
How about this is going there?
Okay.
This one's going there to
so
there.
Joe, yeah. Well, okay, going
and,
back.
And to there.
Right. So you could have played knight d4.
Yes.
That's true with the idea of knight b5 and knight d6.
Right.
Knight c5 may be another idea. Another thing that white might be trying for is just to crash in on e6 some way. Maybe
this is
going
what I'm,
for the
I'm
two
talking
bishops.
about. This and this,
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. But that's
white
a
took
different
10
one.
minutes over this move.
That's a different
So
one.
it was a different try. A different try.
Okay.
All right, let's keep moseying along here. Okay, another age versus inexperience. We'll call it. age versus inexperience at the Mechanics Institute. As international master, Elliot Winslow takes on very strong and young expert Adrian Kondakov, who has already represented the U.S. internationally and has, I'm not sure of all of, but he's an up-and-coming young player too. I think he's also maybe 10 or 11 years old. So, all us old guys, we're very scared when we play these young guys. We're really scared. I mean, they are just...
But you got to beat them anyway.
We have to try to win, but they often beat us, and then we feel humiliated. and then we feel like quitting chess and never playing chess again. Because, to get whomped by an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old is just,
unbelievable.
So right now, my heart goes out to Elliot Winslow and to Patrick Wolf. They're playing very young players, very talented players, whose play can be brilliant and unpredictable. And so let's see how this game is going. Winslow is white and Kondakov is black. And let's see how the wily veteran, international master Elliot is playing. And it's a King's Indian. And I'll bet you this is all book as well. Although, again, you're talking to Paul Whitehead here, who doesn't know any book. And we have this going on here. White's definitely overprotecting that pawn at c6. A funny game. It's like, is White going to play e4 and f4? Is both knights are misplaced? One knight at a4 and the other at a5. I mean, it's a really strange game. Black can't seem to surround the pawn at c6 easily. I mean, he can play d5, maybe, e6 and d5, but then it's going to run into e4. This is a very complex position. Very complex.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now there's a mysterious move, folks.
What's
Let's
that
see.
about?
Why does Black play King h8? Okay, maybe he's vacating g8 to play knight g8 to knight to e7, which will attack c6 and also make way for possibly playing f5.
Mm-hmm.
So King h8 has a point to it, which I would like to say right now is a good thing. If your chess moves can have a point to them, you're on your way to becoming a chess player, a real chess player. So I like this move, King h8. So far, Elliot plays h3, and Black is yet to make a move. So we'll see if knight g8 is the move is in the cards as Black's next move.
I think that's what he's doing. I think that's what he's going to do.
That's what it looks like he's going to do, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah. What else is he going to do? Anything else?
Okay, now we're going to board 7, and we're going to Natalia Sodakova, women's FIDE master, strong chess player, playing Jason Childress, who is having a great tournament. He is an expert, and drew Patrick Wolf in this tournament. And we're looking at the pairings here. I have the ratings of the chess players. Sodakova has dipped above and below master 2200. She's having a good tournament this tournament. She has 2 points out of 3. And so does Jason, who, as I said, drew Patrick Wolf in round 2. Or was it round 3? No, it was round 2. Okay. So Natalia is white, and Natalia won her game quickly last week and then joined me here for a couple of hours in fantastic commentary. So black has given up the 2 bishops, but has leaped ahead in development and is playing very strongly. I like this. Let's go back a little bit. It almost looks like transposing into another French defense, Joe. Even though it's not, but there's something about the structure that reminded me of it. So, I mean, these positions, you can do all kinds of things. You can leave the bishop out f4 and let black take. You can take on d6. You can go back to g3, which is what Natalia did. Black starts to play. Black is playing a very clear-headed, clear idea, and I think is go for e5 quickly. And white tries to kind of plug that hole that up, and taking advantage of the fact that white hasn't castled yet. I mean, so it seems like, in these kind of London systems with the bishop outside or London system / Cole system, as long as black can complete his development quickly, he's going to be fine. Knight e5, and black plays very, very well here, I think, to try to take advantage of his slight lead in development. So we're going to see how this goes about. White can castle here, because if knight takes e5, bishop e5, knight e5, bishop h7, king h7, queen h5, king g8, queen takes e5, and then
I think black is okay.
I think black is okay there too.
Yeah.
There's no real way for white to claim any advantage here. I think white's just a couple of moves behind in development, and if white could play knight if white could play knight on b1 to f3, I would kind of like white's game maybe, or castles and rook to e1. But white is falling behind in development, and black plays very quickly here to open the center up, and that's a good move, d4, and that kind of gets what the threat is, d3. I mean, white doesn't want to play pawn takes pawn, allowing knight takes pawn and more devastation, or another loss of time with queen and so on. So bishop e4, and I guess if d3, queen e3. So black is, black has spent more time here, but I think black is doing fine. I mean, bishop d7, just a simple developing move like that. Knight takes e4, followed by, knight takes e4 has just got to be a good move. I mean, if black had nothing else than knight takes bishop, queen takes knight, and then even pawn takes pawn, it's just the bishops of opposite colors. If black can just get ahead, or knight takes bishop, queen takes knight, queen to b6, threatening queen takes b2, followed by bishop d7. Black has a fine game here, and I've stopped making predictions, but this game could be a draw. It could go anyway. Board 8. Carla Heredia versus Joel Marcus. Carla Heredia is a women's grandmaster. She must be a heavy favorite to win this game over Joel Marcus, who is an A player. However, this is the Tuesday Night Marathon, and all of our club players are strong. They're well prepared. They have a chance to prepare for these players. Your games are, the pairings come up in 24 hours before the round. People know who they're going to play. They get a chance to prepare. We said, A player Jason Childress prepared like crazy against Grandmaster Patrick Wolf and drew the game. So Joel may who knows what's going to happen here. We have a Philidor defense, and then this move. I've seen this move. I'm not familiar with it, but this is, this is the kind of aggressive new move that if you're not prepared for it with black, you could get into a lot of problems. So knight g4 is, of course, possible, and I don't know the theory here. White's going to play rook g1, obviously, and take advantage of a lead in development. Bishop c4, knight g5.
When you get a chance.
Yes.
In a few minutes, when you get a chance, we need you over here.
Okay, yeah. Let's take a look here. Let's take a quick look through these games. G4, H6, G5, HG, Bishop G5, Bishop E7, Queen E2. White's gonna castle on the queen side ASAP and just go for it.
Yeah.
Black is playing tit for tat chess here, though. Rolling up the pawns on the queen side, and Black's king is in the center. But on the other hand, White's queen is on the king is on the queen side, and both can be attacked. Rook takes G7 is now a threat. Let's see if Black plays B4. I assume White's going to play knight b1 and then if queen a2, White's king is safe. White will play rook g7. Black has no visible means of support in there, but it's a wild game. This is a wild game. Folks, I'm going to press the "We'll be right back" button. Let's see if that works on my board, and I'm going to. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, I'm not sure that worked. I'm going to hit the mute button too and take a quick break, and I'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes. Okay. We're back, folks. This to my right here is Abel Talamentes, the new mechanics chess director. Actually, you've been here for 5 months already.
Close to 5, yeah.
And just have instigated so many changes. My head is spinning, but in a good way. And so, Abel, please tell us about all the things that are going on here at the Mechanics Institute, so we can all catch up.
Well, just the biggest change, and we're witnessing it right now in the moment, is we're doing the broadcasting of the games. Started just by getting them up online through the DGT boards, and now it's kind of evolved into doing live commentary and broadcasts, which is a really exciting thing, because I don't know of any other club that does it. We see it in the Pro Chess League, and we see it for the big tournaments, but as a club doing it, it's kind of a really exciting thing, because I think the broadcasts enable us to get to know the players a little bit better, and that's always exciting. But speaking of exciting things, one of the things we're doing is we're trying to develop strategic partnerships and relationships. One of the things that we really have coming up is the Pro Chess League is having their championship event in May.
Right.
And so they've partnered with us to offer some events that coincide with that. So on May 2nd, Thursday, May 2nd at 6 p.m., we're going to have a Mechanics Institute Rapid Championship presented by the Pro Chess League.
And there's going to be at least one very, very strong grandmaster playing in that, right?
Yes. So John Ludwig Hammer is going to play in that. He's actually registered he registered online today, which is kind of funny.
And you can too at chessclub.org.
That's right. It's open for registration, and we've also have confirmed registrations from grandmasters Zviad Azoria and Steven Zurich. John Donaldson has registered. I am Prasanna Rao. He joined. Josiah Stearman.
This is a very strong tournament.
Yeah.
And this is a rapid tournament?
It's a rapid tournament. It's going to be
Wow.
game in 15 plus 2. It's going to be a FIDE rated rapid. And 5 rounds, yeah. And the winners are going to be the first ever Mechanics Institute Club champion. So it's going to be Rapid Club champion.
Right.
And we have 3 sections. So we're going to have 3 champions. We're going to have the championship section, the Open, 2,000 plus. We'll have an AB, and then we'll have an under 1,600. So everyone's going to get a shot at the title for their at the big glory, probably. I don't know about the big money, but I think it means a lot to people to be the first champion of the Rapids at the club.
Absolutely. I mean, this is there's so many things happening at this historic chess club, and so that's one thing on May 2nd, and then continue on just a little bit so we know what's going on, coming up in on that weekend.
On that weekend,
Yeah.
it's a crazy busy weekend. So May 3rd, the day after, at 1 p.m. actually in the afternoon, Grandmaster Eric Hansen will be doing a simul here at the club. From the Chess Bras and the Montreal Chess Bras and the Pro Chess League. So that's really exciting. He'll be here on hand, the prolific streamer himself. That we're aspiring to replicate that, even just a little.
We've probably got about 3 or 4 people watching us now.
It was 7 last I checked, but yeah. So,
all right.
So
we're just starting out, folks. We're also archiving these videos on YouTube. So
I think last week we had one person watch, and now we're at 7, so that's not bad. Yeah. So then the Saturday after that, we have our one-day event, the Charles Powell Memorial, game in 45 round, and then on Sunday here at the club we'll have our annual Shutt Brandwine Jay Whitehead Memorial,
and that was my brother Jay, and that tournament is we're in the 13th or 14th edition of this tournament, which is a blitz tournament that attracts grandmasters. And the current defending champion is Daniel Naroditsky, who grew up in this club. And
I know Sam Shanklin's played
Sam Shanklin played. In fact, the two of them battled it out in the last round for first place, with Daniel coming, finishing ahead of Sam. So I have a feeling these players will probably turn out again. This is an amazing event.
Yeah, so that's 4 straight days of just nonstop action. I mean, we have a lot of action going on in the room right now, and I think this May, the beginning of May, that's going to be quite a weekend. There's going to be enough chess, certainly enough chess to go around. So
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting. So yeah, and then just throwing it out 2 weeks after that at this very club, we'll have our first state championship in quite a while here at the Mechanics Institute.
Wow.
We'll have our Cal Chess Senior Championship. So that's an exciting thing. So
amazing.
just
And right now
stop.
you can't see it, but there's 54 boards going on right now here at the Mechanics Institute. That's 110 players playing in the largest weekly tournament in the United States.
I think the total number of players, because it's not the same week to week, it varies a little bit, but I think we're at 126 of total so far, and we're just halfway through the tournament, which is
right.
Because we're getting players that just jump in, wanting to be part of the action.
Yeah,
week
and
to
part
week.
of history. And we are showing the top 10 boards here. We have a grandmaster playing, I think, for the first time ever in the
women grandmaster Carla Heredia making her debut today. So that's pretty exciting.
This is an amazing day of chess, and we had a little. Somebody asked us where was the tournament. And we're going to get back to the games in a minute, folks. We've got some time here.
And we actually we had a little lag in the broadcast, but we've since updated and fixed it. So everything should be up to date now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. This is Mechanics Institute Chess Club Director Abel Talamentes. And I'm providing the commentary this evening. I hope to get some of the players after they finish their games. I'm in the Skittles room of the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, surrounded by beautiful pictures of world-famous players that have been in and out of this club or are associated with this club in some way. They're on the walls behind me. Come and visit us. We're at 57 Post Street.
Plug in every possible way.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitch now.
Now, I know Paul has forgotten more than I've ever known about chess, but I'm looking at the game between Carla and Joel Marcus, and that looks pretty crazy.
Very exciting. Let's take a look at it. Folks. I'm going to hold on. I'm going to do my best here to bring it up. Ta-da. Okay. So, again, I think we're lucky to be playing without the benefit of computer analysis, and so we can actually learn something using our own brains. And this was a very sharp perk defense. I mean, extremely sharp. These positions can go. You got to hand it to our A players who are really battling it out with these grandmasters and masters and trying to take it to them. They know, I think from a lot of experience, that the only way to beat these stronger players and to draw them is to take the fight to them.
And I think kind of one of the benefits, because here at the Mechanics, we PGN all the games, so it gives the players an opportunity to prepare for their opponents. It seems like a lot of the A players, they know theory, pretty well, or at least they've prepared for it pretty well. Because we've seen some games where I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is going on there? And they seem like they know what they're doing, and then it gets confirmed that that's actually theory, and it's kind of exciting that the players here really treat each week seriously.
No, they definitely do. And so I was just going to say that that's not my strong point, is theory.
And so it looks here like Joel's coming right after.
Joel is just coming right after. I mean, so A5, A4, A3 is the obviously Black's intent. On the other hand, White could maybe think about playing something like Knight G5 now, because if A4, Bishop takes B4, and Bishop takes B4 is going to be a nice little response to A4. So black might just be sort of holding on to that pawn at b4 with that move. Very, very, very sharp position. I mean, that's just all there is to say about it.
What about that game between
let's look
Josiah?
Let's keep.
That looked like it was.
We're gonna keep going through the games here.
There are a lot of games that are.
Yeah. You asked about Josiah's game.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. So we were back here. The last for our bishop e3, f5, g4, knight f6, takes, queen g2 check, knight g4, f3, and then b6, so that if f takes g4, bishop b7, bishop c2, just like we thought.
I mean, they didn't use a whole lot of clock except for these last couple of moves. Then they went into the tank.
Theory, according to international master Prasanna Rayo, theory, and king f6.
I mean, that's like 23 move theory. I mean, that's deep.
If f takes g4, bishop b7, and so bishop d4 check, rook takes d4. And that makes perfect sense because c takes d4, and now I'm sure black is probably going to trot out bishop b7 here. Completing the but it's white can't. Ooh, this is a very sharp game, extremely sharp, obviously.
So like black has those two pieces, yeah, for the rook. Wow.
Yeah. It looks to me like bishop b7, white has a move there to play something, like maybe even bishop takes f5. Because if king f5, queen g4 check.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else is possible here. Bishop g3, okay. So that creates the obvious threat of maybe just simply playing bishop takes e1. Very sharp position. Any ideas? If f takes g4, f takes g4, maybe bishop takes e1, sort of regaining the exchange. If both players' kings are exposed, it's just extremely sharp.
It looks like for all the pieces that black has around the king.
And I don't know who Chessman 102 is, but thanks for all of the things that you're saying. You know, I'm going to see if I'm going to try to multitask here and just say, you know, thanks for your commentary. As I try to get myself up to speed a little bit.
Very good, Paul.
And that was
Fantastic.
my first ever typed.
You can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Walk and chew gum. Okay. Very good. Shall we look at another game?
Yeah.
You want to still sit here for a while?
No.
Yeah. And keep me company?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't provide any value regarding the chess play.
I don't think that's true. Is f takes g4? Yeah, I think f takes g4 is kind of the move that we were just looking at.
And that's because if they play bishop b7, then what? Bishop.
Well, if bishop b7, bishop f5 maybe
bishop F5.
is a possibility.
Bishop f5. Well, no, because you'd be attacking the queen, right?
And if bishop again, bishop b7, bishop e4, f takes g4. So white can play d5. So white's just going for taking some material here off the board and saying your king is going to be more exposed than my king. So bishop e1, rook e1, and then then if bishop b7, d5, it's really crazy. Still a very, very open position. Looks to me like white may start to. It's hard to say that white has the safer king here, but it almost is true.
But if black plays bishop b7 here,
then maybe d5.
d5.
Yeah.
Yeah, d5.
Isn't that crazy? d5. Yeah. I mean, white's position's kind of hanging on by a thread, but
d5.
d5. All right, shall we move on? Let's take a look at board one. This is board one where Cinderella, Sosakobian, Sosakobian is playing Tenzing Shaw, and we went through the opening, which was a lot of French defenses.
Tonight?
Yeah, tonight it's like French defense city here. All right, so we got this kind of game where we thought black was doing quite well, had completed his development, and now is about to maybe even potentially gain the two bishops. And Tenzing likes complicated chances for both sides, kind of middle games. He's very good with a lot of pieces on the board.
What about black's pawn on e6? Like, is that a source of weakness?
That's
or is
but
that
then
common?
there's white's pawn on d4. So it's one of these kind of things. Black has active play around that pawn.
Is this kind of a typical structure?
It's
a
structure. Yeah, it's a structure, and it's both players are trying to play in that structure. I mean, going back one move, I think even if black had simply played knight takes e2 check, black was going to have a good game. I mean, just because that's kind of white's good bishop in this position.
Right.
I think white has kind of dropped the ball already, and black is already in a situation where he's got several plans that look good. He can play bishop d6. He can play like he did bishop e8 and redeploy the bishop to g6, or he can play knight e2. Black's already got possibilities, and I think white's dropped the ball in this, insofar as having the initiative in the opening. And I would say that the initiative is with black.
Okay.
Yeah. And white's been outplayed. And this is white wisely probably kept the bishop, but you can see that black is kind of just, he's moving in. Knight can go to c2, or rook can go to c2, and the bishop can go to b5 and take off that bishop at f1 anyway. So it's just black's kind of calling his shots a little bit.
Want the chair? Yeah, we're gonna put. Or are you done?
No, not done.
Oh, not done. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'll keep my seat.
It's great having Abel here, but we've also going to invite somebody from the past. Once Abel gets up, we have a world famous player here, ready to take his.
A lot of people have heard of.
Ready to take Abel's place.
And they'll be able to speak of chess a lot better than even I could right now.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I knocked the lamp over a little bit. Okay, I'm fixing that. I heard, Abel, before you leave, or if you're planning, you can stay here for as long as you like, but is it true that you're thinking of starting a chess column called the Evil Chess, the Evil TD?
So I don't even know how that came around. So we're setting up the second room today for the tournament, and then Paul and I were just talking about newsletter content, and I actually don't know how it came to be, but I started thinking, we write about the newsletter, been writing columns about, real live, tournament director situations. I go, what if we start writing, short story, and kind of make a tournament director situation as the backdrop. and then it kind of like spiraled into, well, what if tournament directors could actually do what they actually really felt they wanted to do?
Right. I'm forfeiting you because I don't like the look on your face. And you looked at me.
And then, I opened that door, and then Paul just, walked through the door and started running with it with his wild imagination. So, so perhaps one of these days we'll do a column like that. I'm just worried that, I'll have a tournament director strip certification for me.
I don't think that's going to happen. We're trying to have some fun here. I'm trying to...
But I think there's a lot of potential in a column like that, especially with our wild imagination. So, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. With the Mechanics Institute newsletter, all options are on the table. So
this is and that's another thing to check us out on is chessclub.org. We have an active newsletter that comes out while the Tuesday Night Marathon comes out. There's a column by apart from Abel writing lengthy chess news about what's happening in the world of chess at large and also at the mechanics. Nick DeFermian is also supplying a weekly column.
Endgames and openings.
Of games, of endgames, openings, and so on. I'm reminiscing about victories over players, and we're talking many years ago. But it's enjoyable.
Victories that he was a part of.
Yeah, I'll put in a few of my losses at some point. The one or two times I ever lost a chess game. And
but actually, and I've also invited members of the chess community to submit, columns, annotations of their games, their thoughts on the chess community at large.
We're taking letters, submissions. Write us at chessclub@chessroom@milibrary.org.
Yeah, we really want the newsletter to reflect the chess community, and we want the people to have a voice, and the newsletter is a way to kind of express yourself if you have something to say. So take advantage of the opportunity. Obviously, we want to make sure that what's said is relevant, not disrespectful, disparaging things, but we want it to be honest. And if there's something to say, if something needs to be talked about, we invite you to submit.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading some of the text. Somebody says they couldn't believe Andy Lee played the Milner. Played the Milner the Milner Barry Gambit, and so we'll go back to that in a minute. Night before, which we'll go back to this. This is board one of the Tuesday Night Marathon with Tenzing Shaw, just played night before. And that also, apart from threatening to come into C2, threatens to come in with one of the knights at D3.
Right.
So, Sosa's thinking. And let's go back. Board two, Kyron Griffith versus Conrado Diaz. This was a game where, I said that Kyron is in form. He also beat Diaz in the last game the only other game I think that they've played.
Right.
In the last Tuesday Night Marathon. Was that the last round?
Yeah.
It was the last round.
Yeah.
So Conrado would love to get his revenge, I'm sure.
He didn't lose a match. He still hasn't lost a match that he's played here.
Yeah. No, he hasn't lost a game.
Yeah. But he hasn't drawn a game either.
Is that right? He's won
every single game that he's played.
Except for in the Blitz tournament.
Right.
So Kyron must think that he's invincible here. And Diaz is going to try to slow him down. This is a game where both players have trumps. White has a bit of an edge on the king side, and Black has... if I was Black, I wouldn't mind seeing those light squared bishops traded and then my knight ending up on D5 or E4. And if I was White, I would be hoping to infiltrate on the dark squares somehow. This game is very sharp still and could go either way. Black has some positional trumps, but has to watch out for maybe losing on the E file or something like that. I'm very good at making broad, general, things like that. But that's kind of the way I think.
It's hard to be
schematic.
It's hard to say that you were wrong about something.
Yeah, that's true. You won't be able to call me out.
So
later.
I'm going to leave the rest of the broadcast to Paul because I got to get in the room,
Okay.
make sure everything is good. But as soon as games end,
Good tournament.
I'll bring him in here.
All right, yeah. Send some people in. Send some people in.
Send them on.
All right, so I'm all alone here except for the people that are in the background who are club members or people who have just finished their games. Board 3, Patrick Wolf, Eric Lee versus Patrick Wolf. We left around this point with Patrick starting to apply a little pressure here. And Patrick's starting to apply a little pressure here. And, I have sitting with me, would you like to introduce yourself?
I am Caesar Tamandong.
And you are playing in the Tuesday night
Finally
tournament?
won my first game in the marathon. I was 0-3.
0-3. Good for you. Good for
finally
you.
I was bleeding rating points, so it's all good.
And that's what we want to do here. We want to, continue to fight. So, congratulations. Well, you can help me with some of the commentary here or questions that you might have. Knight G4 by Patrick Wolf, and that threatens Rook takes B2, and it threatens Knight takes E3. So we're going to see how Eric, National Master Eric Lee took there, and that gave Black the opportunity to rupture the white pawns. Black takes back, Queen D3. Of course, White can play a quick E4. Now the threat is Queen D6, perhaps. Rook B6, and that defends D6. And White is getting rid of the weakness at E3, the double pawns. On the other hand, he's left with weak pawn. White has the weaker pawn structure, but
And his dark squares are suspect.
There's a lot of dynamic qualities going on here. Pawn takes pawn, bishop takes pawn, and a very interesting grandmaster decision to exchange queens is sort of counterintuitive. I mean, however, let's look at what Black's thinking here. Black's thinking, my rook is tied down to D6. I can't increase the pressure on C4 very easily. I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do. White's going to play bishop D5, and then maybe I'll regret having all my pieces over there on the queen side, and White might suddenly get a quick kingside attack, even possibly going. So this is I like this move on Patrick's part. And also, White, even though Black has weakened his pawns, some of the mortal danger is gone. Certainly the mortal danger of getting checkmated by an 11-year-old.
Also, for the compensation for the double pawns is he has control of the dark squares again. C3, E3.
Right.
Maybe Black can deploy his knight from A6, C6, knight E5.
Or also the white pawns, the weak white pawns.
Or just drop that rook on B2, double up in the B file, and call it a day.
The weak white pawn at C4 and X-raying the weak pawn at A2. So
because that knight on D2, Patrick's move by trading queens, that knight on D2 looks a little awkward.
Well, let's say that White plays knight F3 and takes on D4. This could easily peter out into a draw.
Yeah,
I think. So I'm going to move. Yes. Okay. I'm going to jump down to FIDE Master. Andy Lee is White against Segmed Monk Chulin, and this is really taking a wild turn.
Whoa.
Knight C5, we were here. This is the Milner-Barry Gambit. And let's see. I'm going to scroll up for the chat. Well, let's see. I'm not sure how to do that, but yeah. I'd like to see what was said. Okay, some great commentary here. I'm by IMF Pawn and Chessman 102. I really wish I could get in here and make more commentary.
You can type a message right here. Just click there if you want.
I'm going to say thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for contributing. And I'm learning how to multitask.
There you go, Bob.
So let's take a look at this game. Knight c5, knight g6, and Andy Lee just going in full gambit style here with bishop takes f5.
Going all in.
Okay, so I guess black has to take because knight takes e5. It looks like white's coming crashing through on e6.
He's going to have to get that rook at e1 as fast as he can.
Well, e6, bishop c8. Black is like, I'm gonna just hold on to my stuff here. Queen d5,
Fingernail defense.
bishop e7, and now queen f5, preventing castling. By the way,
Threatening queen f7.
threatening queen f7 check.
Black could just play rook f8 or bishop f6.
Bishop blocks. Queen went back to d5,
Okay.
and that's this is a hard position to see exactly.
If white can get a rook at e1 in an extra tempo,
Queen t5 may be the only move that is preventing. Let's go back here. In this position, queen d5 might be the only move that prevents black from castling because of e7 check. So I like it for that reason. Black, again, all black is trying to do here is to castle and then
consolidate the position.
Trying to consolidate. White does have two pawns though. Knight a6.
Deflection tactic.
So let's see. White would like to play rook c6, and black wisely castles here. And I guess white's deciding, does bishop c5 work? I mean, is white going to just end up with a rook for two pieces or something at the end of two pawns, maybe even only one pawn? Bishop c5, let's look at it. Queen takes e6, right? Queen takes e6, bishop takes e6, and white's going to win one of those rooks for a minor piece, maybe even knight c7, and then can take one of the rook with a minor piece. But at the end of the day, black is going to have two minor pieces for a rook, and
there we go.
Okay, so this is maybe the idea. So if queen c7, e7 check. But then, king h8, folks, even then, king h8 and e8, knight f8, and we're in the same material ballpark that we were just talking about. Not to mention that black could try bishop takes e6. And if knight takes e6, queen f7.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow. Here we go.
Okay, so this is just like what I said.
Yeah.
e7 check, king h8. And
black can just consolidate everything.
well, it's white's going to have the rook for the two pieces, but black and a pawn. Black is playing very solidly, sort of like just calculating that if I go there, you go there. Da, 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 da. White obviously is not going to have much more than pawn takes rook equals queen. Knight takes, and then we're at that material balance that we were just looking at. where white has either, white's still going to try something there. He's going to play b4, right? b4, and continue to try to exploit the microscopic lead in development now that white has.
But white's running out of pieces to continue
White's
the
starting to
attack.
run out of the kitchen sink. Yeah.
Run out of pieces, run out of tempo.
Okay, this kind of went the way we thought it was going to go. One way or the other, it was sort of going to go that way.
Let's go back to...
Stearman and Ivanov?
Sure.
Wow. Okay, so we were here. Rook d4, c d4. It's hard to give this game justice. Bishop g3, f g4, bishop e1, rook e1. All of this was sort of to be predicted. Bishop e7, d5, rook d8. Just uncompromising chess by both players. I mean,
Streak fight.
This has been a fantastic round. The lower rated player just staying with the stronger player, move after move, to try to. On the other hand, this is starting to look a little bad for black. I'm thinking.
Yeah, because doesn't Josiah have g5 as a possibility?
G5 check looks possible. Also, bishop b3. Whose king is more exposed? It's a very difficult position. And white could find himself up a pawn at the end or down a pawn. I mean, this is a hell of a game. This is a heck of a game.
A lot of macho games going on.
Yeah, a lot of
macho games in the open section.
Yeah. Really terrific
everyone proving
chess.
their manhood tonight.
Terrific chess. Let's go to Winslow Kondakov. Go back a little bit here.
One of the promising junior players in the Bay Area.
Yeah, we have this. He did play, and now Elliot's sees what's going to happen and sort of backs up with rook. So it seems like bishop d5, but then of course black could maybe hit it with queen b5 if the bishop was on d5. So white's just keeping the bishop back there. Very sharp position. White has played well to sort of distract black from playing knight e7 and then taking on c6. So white's sharpened the game up. Excuse me, folks. I'm going to turn around and tell these people to keep it down a little bit. Did Josiah blunder?
Wow, we have a lot of people on chat asking if Josiah blundered. Okay, rook to f1 was played, increasing the pressure on the f5.
Okay, so what is the move? Rook d5. What about rook d5?
Can black just play bishop d5 and call it a day?
I don't know, because of rook f5 check, and then rook takes f5, and then it's white winning. But if rook takes d5, what is white going to do?
Classic discovered attack because rook d5 defends f5, and
rook takes d5, it defends f5, and there's a deadly discovered attack coming on.
That's gonna hurt. We have a bunch of we have a bunch of commentary on chat.
Yeah.
Alex is gonna find it. That's from Chessman 102.
Yeah.
Okay, Chessman 102 also says, I hope he misses it. I don't want Josiah to withdraw. Well, Josiah's got a lot of friends out here.
On the other hand, I want to see good chess rewarded, and
let's see the chat.
Nobody can be taken for granted. You just scroll up, everybody.
Okay, let's see here. IMF pawn. The kids need to learn.
That's right.
That's from IMF pawn.
I'm with you, F pawn.
Wow.
I'm with F pawn.
Wow, F pawn.
Yeah, I'm going to say that.
We have. Here, Paul's going to reply to you, IMF pawn.
I'm with. F. I'm learning how to type, folks. I'm with F pawn.
Okay, then Zartse says, don't think he'll withdraw from this open section. And then Junior Chess Player, wow, I love the support for the channel. And Junior Chess Player, thank you for your support too. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, this is great. We're having fun here. You know, we may not be the most technically savvy chess, online chess thing going.
Okay,
but
we got, hey, Chessman 102, keep your commentary coming in. Chessman 102 says he could miss Rook D5. Rook takes D5.
Okay.
It's complicated. You bet it's complicated.
All right, let's keep going.
We're going back to the Andy Lee game.
And this happened just like we thought.
Whoa, okay, I actually called it.
Okay, so now let's look at
How about the Griffin Diaz game? That's a rematch of the.
right. Let me quick.
Let's go
We're
check
gonna
out
go
the-
down. I want to quickly take a look at these games. Winslow Konnikov is still in this situation. Sodakova, we haven't looked at this game in a long time. I'm going to go back. Yeah. Stare says, look at Caesar with all the plugging. Yeah.
Hi, folks.
We need it. We need it here. You know, why not?
And we invite everybody to bring your questions in on chat.
I want to see how this game went. This was. We thought Jason was doing very well here and played even sharper than we had anticipated. The players have kind of slowed down a little bit in order to get their respective things in.
That,
Very principled play here by both players.
that D3 pawn's a thorn on White's side.
Or else it's a weakness. So we're going to find out.
Well, could Black consider B6, Bishop B7, and all
I'm
kinds
sure
of fun
Black wants to develop. His
Okay.
pieces. So this is a very principled
And
game.
Natalia's got some fans. Rob Todd 123, go Natalia. This is gonna get wild, folks.
Yeah. Okay, people.
Thanks.
Okay. Yes.
Thanks, man.
Caesar.
Thanks, everybody.
You're welcome to type in something. Caesar's going to type in something.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's great. And what my impression here is that both players are playing very principled. This could go either way. We're going to keep moving on here. You know, the one thing I'm finding in the open section, everyone is having a good tournament. How about that? This, and then there's
Whoa.
this crazy game. Okay, Bishop D2, we were last here with Black going for the stronger player, Carla Heredia's position here. Both players are trying to crash in. Look at this.
Wow.
So,
This looks like a chess composition with all the pieces down on the second and first rank.
all right, so let's say if Queen E1, you know, and then just some sort of normal D takes E5, you know, or this is, you know, White has some, you know, this is me thinking here. White has some, you know, remote endgame possibility with the outside past H pawn. Meanwhile, all the pieces are flying. Anything could happen here. Black is playing aggressively. The queen is attacked. Queen E3 or Queen E1, and then Black's going to take back on E5, most probably, with the pawn, and then it's hard to call. Still very complicated. Will resolve itself as long as nobody blunders something. Should resolve itself in a move or two. I'm still not clear as to exactly what's going on here. Okay, next game. Chambers versus Askin. We have not even looked at this game. Let's go run through it really quickly. Chambers was, this is board 9. Chambers was shocked by Sosa Kobian in the last round. and we're getting a Caro-Kann advanced variation, complicated, both players following their strategies. Every game looks like a French defense or some kind of variation thereof.
Typical solid play by Askin. I drew Askin in the last marathon.
Oh, that's interesting.
He's
solid player.
He's just going to be solid and not concede any weaknesses. So do you suspect Ezra's just going to try to grind this out?
Ezra's the higher ranked player,
Yeah.
and we're going to assume that that's the way it goes. All right, we're arriving at this position. This is our 10th board. Persitsky, who's an A player, versus Russell Wong. And I think you're right. Joel Marcus is playing strong against WGM Heredia. And the players are playing up to their the skill level of their opponents. This is another complicated game. I mean, White has, Rook B7, and what's Black going to do? Play Rook Fe8 and Rook E2. So Black is sort of threatening to double on the seventh rank. But then White might be threatening the same thing too, by playing Rook F1 and Rook F7. Of course, Black can play F5. Oh, this is another incredibly complicated game. We're like, I can't even tell you. Let's go back to board one. Sos was way ahead on the clock, and then after night before, used a lot of time. And has given up the exchange after knight c2.
Oh, okay.
He stopped knight d3, but allowed knight c2. And again, I'm not sure that White is showing the compensation. Although rook c1 and there's a pin. Oh no, rook c1 is now met by bishop a3.
Yep.
Okay, so rook c1, bishop a3, and then White's got to give up the queen. Queen takes c2, rook takes c2, rook takes c2. Ivanov. Let's take a look at the Ivanov game really quickly on board 4. Rook takes d5.
You called it, Paul. You called it.
Well, somebody called it in chat.
Chessman 102. Alex played rook takes d5. Exclam. You bet he did.
Okay, so the thing is, Chessman 102, you probably are playing with the benefit of
Engine.
Yes.
Chessman 102. What engine are you using? No shame.
Okay.
It's not Alpha Zero, so it's got to be Komodo or Stockfish. Let us know.
We're playing with...
Okay, Chessman 102 says, position is still nuts, though. And then Chessman 102 says, I think after bishop e4, maybe rook d2, question?
Okay, so bishop e4, rook d2. This is a tactical slugfest. I mean, let's see, bishop e4, rook d2, and if bishop b7, rook takes g2.
That Black's light squared bishop is just a beast right now, so...
I'm going to go for the queen in that situation. If bishop e4, rook e2, bishop takes b7, rook takes g2, bishop g2.
And you can resign with confidence?
No, I mean, White has some chance for a blockade, but I'm going to go for Black winning that position. F4, king g5. I mean, I don't know. Black is going to be able to play for a win. White might be able to blockade, but that's...
It's going to be a 2 result. Either Black wins or draws, right?
It's saying bishop e4, rook d2.
Right. We're looking at that. Bishop e4, rook
Okay,
d2.
IMF pawn says the queen wins on the queen side.
Yeah. F pawn.
Okay, White just played bishop e4.
Right. As usual. Bishop e4. Yeah, well, so, and again, as we were saying, Black is going to play rook d2. White cannot play queen takes d2 because of bishop e4, king g1, queen g3 check. So he's going to have to give up. He's going to have to probably play bishop takes b7. All right, we'll come back. Maybe the players have seen deeper than we have, or maybe you with engines at home have seen deeper than we have.
Let us know what engines are you using. We like to just get an informal poll. My personal favorite
Let's
is
go to
Komodo 11.
Andy Lee's game here. So that we left it after knight f8, and now Andy Lee is just piling on,
Throwing everything
in. But we're seeing,
You never know in these type of situations. If you keep throwing pieces, something might break.
yeah.
But if black just
Black is pushed back against the being pushed back. This is not going to be easy for
even though black has 2 pieces for the rook, those rooks are on open files and accidents could happen. This is the Tuesday night marathon, folks. As time runs out and it gets late,
That's right.
people forget to duck. People slip.
This is a dynamic equality, and it could go either way. I'm not gonna make a call on this yet.
Okay. What's up with the
Winslow and Kondakov.
Yes, let's check that off.
Okay, bishop h1. Okay, after black played the incredible queen c8. Okay, so maybe toying with the idea of playing h5.
Well, I'm leaving.
So, okay, Patrick, we're going to come to Patrick Wolf's game in a second here, folks. Black played queen c8, and that looks like toying with the idea of playing h5 here. So, and redeploying the queen. Very complicated. All these games are just super duper complicated. It's amazing. Let's go to the one game that's finished, and that is Patrick Wolf versus Eric Lee.
Patrick, right over here.
So maybe it's a mistake to take right away.
Okay, well Patrick is analyzing with Eric Lee here behind us, and maybe we can get one of these players, or both of them even, over here to see what happened. But let's see. I predicted that. Did I not predict that this could peter out to a quick draw? And it actually did. The 2 weaknesses are gone. Let's see. Black. Okay, let's go back here. Black could not play bishop a2 because of rook a1 probably, and if rook b2, rook takes a2, bishop takes a2, and bishop d5 check.
And that's all she wrote.
So rook e8 is played, bishop d3, d5, rook b1. I like the white knight sitting at d4.
And Eric is getting
now.
props from the chess community.
Yeah,
Congrats to
this
Eric.
is very,
IMF pawn, impressive.
Rook b6, rook b6, rook b1. Very, very well played here. The knight sits very, very well on d4. However, with both kings rushing into the center, there's not going to be anything going on here. So a well played draw. Patrick Wolf has been held to 2 draws here. This time by quite a strong and up and coming player. The important thing for Patrick is that he didn't lose.
Yeah, Patrick and Eric are analyzing the game right behind us right now.
Yeah,
so
behind us is Patrick Wolf and Eric Lee analyzing their game.
how about
let's go
Griffin
quick.
Let's see.
Let's see. Russell Wong apparently. Let's see what happened after in this position. Rook b7, rookie. This kind of went the way we. Oh no.
Oh boy.
I think White was not supposed to have allowed this. Bishop e3 is a surrounding shot. Yeah, look at this. Just surrounding.
I liked it.
Wow. F5 check. Very, very nice finish by Russell Wong. If bishop takes f5, folks, the pawn at h7 delivers the mate, pawn h5. So
Right.
let's go back really
White
quick.
could resign with confidence.
I think White probably did resign. This game is over, I think.
Okay.
Right here
So
was a critical moment. Black has played Rook B2, and we can just sort of read his mind if we want. What is the only thing that Black is going to do here is to play Rook E8 and Rook E2. So if I was White, I'd be thinking about that. You know, can I do something here to either stop that or to make my own threat more viable? So what about playing Rook E1? Simply
Exactly.
playing Rook E1.
Cover E2 and
You're covering. You're ditching the A2 pawn.
it's going to
but
die
so
anyway.
what,
You know, you have to get it for activity.
This is the point where it doesn't pay to get greedy. It's like whoever seized this E file first, and now it looks to me like White's in trouble. With Rook E2 coming, and White being unable to play Rook G1, right? Because the bishop takes Rook check. It's like it was sort of the writing was on the wall there.
like A5, A4 or something?
Yeah, very nice.
Right?
We're just reading Chessman 102's commentary.
On the game.
On the game.
Yeah, Chessman, thank you. You're one step ahead of us here.
Right.
And that's just fine. We want all the interactive stuff that we can have. Let's go back to board one. You know, all I can say about this position and the time thing is if we go back and we see Sos with a lot of time on his clock, and maybe back here when he was moving quite quickly, and this is the point where he should maybe have been taking more time. The stronger player, and I'm not saying that Sos is not a strong player, but you want to take your time when things are still unclear, or that there are. You don't want to be taking your time when you're suddenly hit by this. White's used up now 45 minutes.
The time could have been better invested 3 moves ago.
The time could have been better invested back here.
So at this position, Paul, what should
Well,
White consider just taking the C
White
file?
could have played bishop takes f4 here. That knight showing up on f4.
Yeah, bishop takes f4, rook takes f4,
And then rook d1
rook
or
d1,
something.
and then you eventually could hit e6. Okay, e6 is adequately defended, but at least you don't have those pesky knights roaming around.
I mean, I don't know. What if I just like.
Black got a good game in here.
Yeah.
In any regards, I think White's play somewhere between this 11th move, maybe knight f1, taking the knight out of the center, and maybe knight b3 makes a little sense here, where you're overprotecting d4, and maybe being able to put the knight on c5 and playing rook c1 quickly. We're starting to see maybe just sort of like a drifting. White drifting,
starting to lose the thread.
developing, but on the other hand, not developing effectively. And this b3 move just weakens squares on the. Usually, White wants to have a3 and b4, or leave the pawns alone. But to have b3 by itself
It weakens the dark squares on the queen,
As well.
on the queen side.
As well.
That's why how that knight on
weakens
b4.
all kinds of squares. So the final position that we have here,
So I could do this. And
with Sos still thinking, he must have overlooked rook c1, bishop a3 is all I can think of. And so
I think it's kind of
And
that halo effect when you get hit with a move you didn't see, and you're just staring at the board going,
going around in circles.
what the blank happened, you know?
All right, board 2. And we were back here on h4 quite a while
This is
ago.
the rematch from the last marathon between Griffin and Diaz. This is
Right.
Okay. But I'm trying too hard. So knight g4 and takes.
Bishop a6. going for an opposite colored attack.
Here we go.
Right. There's a theory going on here, and that's the opposite colored bishop's attack. Oh, this is so.
Black's got enough resources to defend G7, so this is going to be a mess.
I don't want to say that white's better, and I don't want to say that black's better, and I don't want to say that it's a draw. So
Between these guys,
let's go on to the next game.
Well,
What's that, Patrick?
There's nothing left to say.
There's nothing left to
that was
say. except
Grandmaster
for,
Patrick Wolf. Thanks, Patrick. So maybe black here for definitely. So rook F7 for black before we go. For
Yeah,
Diaz.
rook F7.
Rook F7, just overprotect with I don't know, a weird setup with rook F7, rook E7. I don't know, just overprotect that G pawn.
White has an initiative here.
And the bishop on A6 is threatening that rook. It's just going to be
but
a
the
lot.
rook is going to move. The rook is going to move up to F3 or and then to E3. So I mean, white has the initiative here. It's hard to say exactly. What's
Okay, wait, we got a commentary from Chessman 102. What I would say in those situations is I would play both sides and find a way to lose.
Yeah.
Very witty,
exactly.
Chessman 102. Keep the commentary coming in.
And I like that you're in line with what we're saying here. That's good. Okay, so this is I don't want to play either game here. Okay, back to this incredible game.
Whoa.
What has happened? Bishop E4, just like we predicted. Rook G2, and the queen versus the rook and bishop. Stearman threw rook F5 check in, and then came back here, and now his queen side. This has got to be a win for black.
Oh, that's right. Queen C3. That's right. There's always Queen C3.
This is, what concerns me in this position in terms of black is that black will fall into something here. To me, this should be, there should be, it's pretty straight, not straightforward, but
That's right. That's why I can't go Queen A4.
just get the king out of the way of a perpetual check. It's going to be hard for white to advance his G-pawn enough for it to be effective as a threat.
Seems like you put the king
It's
on
too-
H8 and just keep it on the dark square.
Yeah, or bring it over to E7 or E5 or somewhere where it's out of the way.
But this is where time pressure plays a factor here because Alexander's got 19 minutes versus Josiah's
Josiah
one
has a way to this theoretically I would call this for black, but white white has youth, vigor.
Here we go. Abel's King H8.
Abel's King H8, which now means white has to spend 2 moves taking the pawn, after which the king will end up on G8.
Maybe Josiah's going to throw in a bishop D5 and some random schoolyard stuff, but it's going to be tough.
I mean, I'm not sure that King H8 is the right idea. My instinct is to take the king away from the corner and so on, and then to use the queen to sort of stop the pawn, deliver tons of checks, and to move the black pawn up 1 square at a time. I'm not sure that King H8 is the right decision, but we'll find out eventually. And look, somebody says King H8 is horrible. And,
Rob Todd 123.
Yeah, no. And F pawn also says Josiah has a history of winning these kinds of positions.
Summary.
Oh yeah, he.
Your game.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have Grandmaster Patrick Wolf
We have
come on over
Grandmaster
here.
Patrick Wolf sitting down with me. We're going to take a quick look at his game, and I'll try to hang in there with Patrick while he does that. Patrick, you can use the mouse if you want. This is the only capability we have, which is just simple back and forth.
Okay, so I decided to play. Well, I've decided to play the Leningrad Dutch because why not? It's fun, and the important thing is you can play it against anything against 1e4, so it really cuts down how much thinking you have to do, and then knight
And you're
c6.
saying that that's important to cut down on thinking?
Well, I mean, I know nothing about openings anymore, so. I saw this game that
There's a
Nakamura.
theme here.
I saw this game that Nakamura played in the U.S. Championship, so I figured I'd give it a go.
That's right. You're right.
Here, b3, and I figured.
Now, didn't Nakamura's opponent play knight d2?
Yeah, I think that's right.
And now there was an interesting comment by Ginsburg. Go back just before b3. So after knight d2, black played c5, and Ginsburg said it's well known that white should just play d takes c6 in that position, and then
Yeah, okay, whatever.
and play that kind of game.
Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Well, whatever. So maybe that's right. But anyway, so b3, and I guess if knight e4, knight takes e4, bishop a1, and white has compensation. So fine, I believe that.
That's probably well known.
That's what I figured. I figured that's
Exactly,
probably well
yeah.
known. So c5, bishop b2. I'm not really much of a fan of how. I mean, white's playing perfectly normal moves. I don't mean, but like,
Right.
I think black actually like.
Black ended up fine after this.
I felt very happy here. You know, like I feel like I've got plenty of active play, and it's pretty easy to play my position.
That struck me as odd. Maybe rook b1 looks sort of more normal in this position.
Yeah, maybe,
White's
absolutely.
pieces ended up on funny
Yeah.
squares.
But I understand he wants to play e4 for something. So what I do, that's right. So I took, and I think probably takes is fine. Although maybe I should just play bishop d7. There's
And if-
no reason to rush anything.
Okay, so planning to meet e4.
Well, e4 is not good. How do you do variations here? Do
You
just
can't.
Okay. So
Yeah, we're
after
gonna-
bishop d7, if white goes e4, then b takes c4. I think is actually quite good for black. And then b takes c4, and you take on e4, and there's like no good way for
and
white
there's
to
tactics on rook takes b2.
Yeah, there's,
and all that.
and the c4 pawn. So
Okay,
and there's
gotcha.
there's no good way to take. So I
Sure.
think black can just play bishop d7. He's fine.
Okay.
But I think this is okay too. B takes e4, b takes e4, e5, and this is the idea of taking it right away is to play e5.
Right.
Takes. I think probably he has to take. If he went to e4, I was going to play f4.
Sure.
And then otherwise, I get to play e4, so I figure that should be good for me. So I expected takes and takes.
No, white. It seems to me white's done something wrong. I mean, this
Yeah.
is not.
No,
this-
I think black is fine here, and I think here, queen d7 I think is fine. You know, it's nice. It controls some squares.
Sure.
It allows the knight to come back.
Sure.
Knight e3, and now here I think I just tried too hard. I think knight g4 is a mistake. I think black should just play knight c6, and probably.
Redeploying the knight.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
probably black has a slight advantage. I
would
mean, you
say
know, the game goes on. It's nothing special,
Okay.
but I think this is correct. And
I think it's better for black. You're right. Yeah.
and
yeah, yeah.
I've actually noticed this about, like, I think it's interesting that one of the ways that I'm rusty is I'm trying too hard. Like actually, a lot of times you should just sort of play. But instead I'm
very
trying to,
interesting.
I'm trying to force some advantage here. But there is no advantage. After bishop takes, knight takes, pawn takes, queen takes.
White played very soberly here.
Yeah. No, and I realized, like, oh, darn, like, I thought I was going to have an edge, and I kind of looked at this position, and I'm like, I have nothing. You know, so I think I just made a mistake. Like, it looks, optically, it looks nice to double
agree,
white's
I
pawns,
agree.
but actually I think that's pretty superficial, and if you go back here, like, you know, the right thing to do, like, I'm sure Nakamura would find the best move in this position, but I'm sure, like, Nakamura would, like, just play knight c6 and just, like, I'm just going to play this position.
And if queen a4, rook b6.
No,
or-
if queen a4, you can play, like, knight b4, for example.
I see. Right,
Actually,
right.
you can even go rook takes b2.
Oh, well, yeah, sure. Sure.
Anyway, so,
Yeah, I see.
But I think this is the critical point in the game, and this is a mistake. And after it takes, queen d3, actually, maybe white's a little better, maybe it's equal.
Well, you avoided what could have been something catastrophic, right? I mean,
Well-
which was white developing a kingside attack.
Sure.
A fast kingside attack.
Sure.
Which,
So takes, he avoided, like, the trap here, which he avoided is rook takes, rook looks good, but after king takes, actually, the king's actually fine there, and actually the fact that the bishop has the g8 square is very important in some lines,
Okay.
but he avoided this.
right.
And I figured trading queens probably made sense.
Yeah, we thought you could have been in some trouble if he had been allowed to play bishop d5.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you suddenly could have found yourself
Knight f3, and I mean, I just think
Very
and
sober.
You can see here now the fact that the bishop can't go to g8 is very important because after knight takes c8, knight takes d4, it's a problem. But if the rook on f1 and the rook were gone and the king was on f8, knight takes c4, knight takes d4, bishop g8, I think is actually better for black.
Right, and the king is able to come to e7.
Yeah, exactly. But
so,
okay, but he didn't do this,
Right.
and it just peters out. I mean, it's just kind of nothing, and
bishop a2 being impossible because of rook a1.
yeah, exactly, and he was happy to trade all the
Very
pieces.
sober and soberly played by White.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, White's probably a little better here. But,
Both kings come to the center.
yeah, but and I'm tired, and there's no
yeah.
reason I want to try to squeeze something out of this where I think there's nothing. But
Right.
It's actually very frustrating because it's a funny game. Like I made one big mistake, right? Like I think my big mistake was here, and I should just play knight c6. And all the pieces are on the board, and I think black has very free play,
Right.
and everything left to play for.
Right.
And then I play this one mistake, knight g4, and somehow the pieces come off the board fairly quickly,
Exactly.
and I have nothing. So I just really screwed up.
So the next time that you two play, I predict this will happen. He will play very aggressively, and you'll bend like the wind, and then take all his pieces, and win the game, because that's sort of the natural way
From your
that
lips to
things.
God's ear.
That's kind of the
But I
natural
think
way.
it's I don't know, it's interesting, like I've observed that one of the ways that I'm rusty, well, of course one of the ways I'm rusty is I know like nothing about the openings. It's like hilarious because when I played seriously, people used to consider me something of an openings expert.
But Patrick, what
But
you've
now, I know nothing.
what you have forgotten about the opening is more than most of us have.
Sure, but what I've forgotten is of no use to me, so it doesn't matter.
I got you.
But the other thing I have noticed is I'm trying too hard. Like in this position, I felt like, gee, I really should have like a big advantage, and I should there should be some way to do it.
Right.
And actually, I should have just said, all right, if after a couple minutes I couldn't find anything, just bring the knight back to c6. Every single piece is very well centralized.
Right.
I
mean, you've outplayed-
E1 and F1 are kind of stupid.
You've definitely outplayed
Yeah,
him.
it's just
but
a
at this
perfectly
point.
nice, pleasant position for black. It's got to
Definitely.
be equals over plus, right?
I would definitely say so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I suck. So
Not,
anyway,
not
thank
at
you
all.
very much.
Not at all, Patrick. You played a good game.
Well, thank you very much. You're a good man.
Yeah.
One more. Fight on.
Yeah. Right.
So one more idea in this position, Patrick.
Yeah.
What about playing f4? And if
I
gf4,
looked
knight
at that.
h5.
I looked at that. I
Yeah.
looked at trying to do that.
So I think there's black has moves here. Black has a good game.
No, black has a good game, but I
Yeah.
think again F4 is trying too hard. I mean, I think the right move is knight c6.
Is knight c6.
Am I out of the camera or something? Yeah, just play knight c6 and
Yeah, very, very good.
very simple.
Yeah.
Don't have to think. The whole game's ahead of you. White's rooks on e1 and f1 look misplaced. What's wrong with black's position, right? Nothing.
Chessman 102 says, if a GM US champion says he sucks, what hope is there for me? And the F pawn said none.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good, thank you, Patrick.
See you, Patrick.
Yeah. Wow, this is it's so amazing to be here with so many great chess players. Really,
And willing to just come in and just talk about their game.
yeah.
Or whatever they feel about it in the moment.
A great result. Eric Lee, 2200 player, the top
2200,
11 player.
number one in the country, 11-year-old.
Wow.
Drew with
Took it to him.
Grandmaster.
Yeah.
He didn't play a very great game, but it was good enough.
Well,
And-
we knew. I mean, we said. I mean, he's very solid. I mean, he's a threat because they just know how to defend, and they have the stamina, the energy to just
yeah,
hold
and the motivation.
and the motivation.
Yeah.
Right, and then you heard Patrick say, he's worried about overpressing, trying too hard, and when you're playing these guys, it's a marathon. You have to put in the time and the hours, and it's tough.
Yeah. No, nobody's going to find it easy in the Tuesday night marathon. Not at all. No, except for maybe Sosakobian, who's the Cinderella in running away with the tournament. But let's see what happened. After knight c2, rook c1 was played, as we said, and then bishop a3. And Sos has decided to give up the exchange rather than the queen for... I think I might have tried queen takes c2 there and gotten 2 pieces for a rook. Because sometimes you want more of an imbalance than this. And this is just like, I'm down the exchange.
Just trading away.
And just trading away against I'm not sure that that's the right decision. Sometimes, like I said, you want the imbalance more than you want the
And even just looking, you kept the queen, but the queen doesn't look.
Yeah, I mean, white can play bishop d3 and maybe get something going on the dark squares. It's his only hope, is to. And the knight is very strong on e5, so I'm not gonna count white's position out yet. Although after f takes e3, the knight's going to go back to g6 and immediately challenge that knight on e5. So it is what it is. Yeah, we know that Russell Wong checkmated Andrei Persitsky on board 10, and that looked like this at the end. Looked like this with mate to follow. Bishop takes f5, h5 mate. Interesting. Eric is 11 and Drew with Patrick Wolf. I'm not going to guess. Patrick is probably in his early to mid 50s. That's, okay, board 2. And we're back to this where we have the...
just as I predicted, rook
Rook
e7.
e7, rook f3, and, these bishop c4, queen g5, rook f7.
It's a clinch, like MMA.
Yeah, this is going to be, I don't know.
It's going to be a clinch, and unless someone trips, maybe they're going to shake hands. But
Yeah, white can play h5, but that's going to be met by h6, rook g3. Black is overprotecting g7. White, I think white has to be careful if he can't break through that he doesn't drop the a pawn and then lose to the a5, a5, and all the way down to a1. I don't see how either player, white's still applying some pressure here. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah, some of the members of the audience might have heard our director, Abel Talamantes, say that a lot of these games are going to be starting to crash. This is like the last half hour of the marathon where people are generally within 30 minutes on the clock.
Well, last hour.
Last hour is going to get entertaining. Time pressure, people dropping.
Let's see here how Stearman and Ivanov. Okay, king h8 was played. We didn't like that move. Rook d5. It seems to me that black should have moved the king over to the other side. This is giving white lateral play on sort of both sides of the board. Yeah, black shouldn't be worried about this h-pawn. Check, queen e7. Okay.
There you go.
h6. Maybe this is just a simple way to play and keep everything.
Here we go. Black's starting to roll the pawns on the queen side.
And if rook d6, this was I still think it's black for choice, but rook d6 now looks like an annoying threat.
Black's got 7 minutes and counting, and you're gonna have to convert this on demand.
It's like by keeping the king over on the king's side, you've given yourself one more thing to worry about. In other words, I prefer my king to be in the center instead of white's king, maybe, and rolling with the queen side pawns and just jettisoning the king side pawn. But I mean, the players and the engines know for sure.
IMF,
Somebody says
IMF
Josiah
pawn.
will draw. Yeah.
IMF pawn. Josiah will draw. Mark my word.
Okay. All right.
The
Let's keep
mechanics-
going. Let's keep going. Andy Lee, who was throwing this game has kind of slowed down a little bit in terms of players probably trying to. Black is starting to get her pieces out of the box, but there's no real targets. And White has a very solid position, and this could, both players could get scared and offer a draw here, and I wouldn't be surprised if both players kind of like.
I don't know, Paul. Everyone's in a fighting mood tonight. I don't know if it's the weather. It's
just-
round 4. People are
And you want to see blood.
blood.
Yeah,
People
blood.
people playing macho chess.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also, Andy Lee has a little bit of a time advantage here.
About 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20-minute time advantage.
Andy's going to push it.
Andy will push it. I with a solid position like this, it's difficult. It might be difficult to lose it. But on the other hand, Black can sneak around with the knights, and you never know. All right, let's leave it for now and go to Winslow versus Kondakov, this incredibly complicated middle game position. Queen f2 attacks the knight. Queen d8 defends the knight. The rook had now went to d1, back to e1, back to d1. It's h6, rook d5, rook a8. Is Black starting to lose
The thread.
the thread or control?
Looks
or-
like White is going to activate his knight on c5 and knight c5, knight e4, or maybe just tickle the position.
Yeah, if
It's-
White can bring the knight back into the game, knight c5, which also threatens knight b7.
Yes.
Well, let's see, knight c5. This we're going to require some. Black could play knight takes c6. Complicated. And then if knight to b7, queen to b8 or something.
Well, Elliot.
Oh, no. Elliot, that's not going to work because the knight's on h4 is hanging. So knight c5. I like your move.
Elliot's calculating how to finish it. Not finish it, but the follow through after knight c5.
If
and
White
all
can
that.
play knight c5 and then and knight b7 and force Black to take, White can end up suddenly with a passed pawn at b7.
and that diagonal, the light square diagonal, can
Yeah.
prove decisive.
All right,
Let's see, sports fans.
knight c5 is a possibility. Let's see. Okay, let's go down to Sotokova. This game, we were praising both players for playing principled chess, and that's still going on here. Has Black just given up a pawn for next to nothing? We don't know yet. Black has an initiative, has sacrificed a pawn on the queen side, has a strong pawn at d3, and yet still needs a little beef to show, or as they would say, or a little, just something a little concrete here to go on. Very complicated position. Again, I'm not going to call it. Again, there's the remote bishops of opposite colors thing, schema, possibly in the, long range. Chessman 102 said most of the best 11-year-olds in the country come from the Bay Area. That's an interesting observation. So, Woman G. This was one of the great games, and we've neglected it. Bishop A6, Heredia versus Joel Marcus. woman grandmaster, and like I predicted, white withdrew the queen, and black took back on e5, and rook a6, and now there's a bit of a... So, threatening to come in on f7, and also black is throwing a little bit of caution to the winds here. Wow, and white sacks the exchange. Black is threatening queen takes b2 mate. Black plays king f8. So if I guess black saw that if king takes e7, bishop takes b4 check. And
Is this a repetition?
Wow, is this an amazing
Is this a bailout to repetition
king
bailout?
f8?
Rook f. Nah.
If rook f7 check, is black going to play king e8 and white going to play rook e7 check? Could that really happen?
Well,
I mean, okay, let's just see what's going on here. Black is threatening queen takes b2 mate. If white plays bishop e3, queen b2, okay, white played rook f7 check.
maybe Carla's making the business decision
I mean,
to go for the
she
repetition.
took that bishop, so I mean, that was free of charge. If white can now get out of the mate, she'll be a piece ahead. Does bishop e3 successfully navigate out of the checkmate? So let's see, king e8, bishop e3.
For the benefit of the audience, what's wrong with king to g8?
King to g8 is definitely a possibility too. All right, so white's going to play bishop e3 or bishop takes b4. Probably bishop e3, queen b2.
Have a guest commentator.
All right, that's great.
Actually,
Fantastic. Erica. All right, Erica, you're just going to sit and hang out for a little minute?
Is it
For a
okay if I
minute?
watch?
Yeah. Come in. In fact, I need to take a quick bathroom break. So can you, Caesar?
Okay.
Caesar, can you sit here?
2 minutes, so probably not.
Okay. Or just take over.
See you, Paul.
I'll be right back.
Hi, Caesar Towendong here from Mechanics Library with Erica Malkin. Erica, how'd your game go?
Oh, I drew.
You drew good.
Not good. I gave. Pretty sure I should have won.
Okay, black just played king to g8 like I predicted. Let's see how white's going to handle this. Is white going to bail out to a draw or
No, I'm gonna
or
bail
go
out.
for it? Bye,
You got
Erica.
this, Caesar.
See you, Erica.
No.
So we have a critical moment here in the Heredia Marcus game. Black just played king to g8, and we have Chessman 102 saying no draw, and Rob Todd 123 says bishop c3. Give that guy a cigar. Rob Todd 123, you got that move in. So black is going to try to close the show here. Let's see. After bishop c3, let's see. B takes c3, threatening mate. Wow. I go back to the other games right now, but this game is rather entertaining. So black is at a crossroads here. So black's hoping to get b takes c3 in, remove the final defender of b2, and then get mate or something. Okay, black retreats to a8, protecting the back rank from perpetual threats. Now the onus is on white to find a defense here. Rob Todd says b takes c3, rook d8. My sentiments exactly. Just black has to calculate out the tempos to get this mate. So We shall see. Let's see here. Hey, Juan, how do I go to the other boards? Click there. Okay, I'm going to go to one of the other games, folks. Okay. Well, here's Paul back here. Paul.
Yes.
We've had some developments since you took your break.
Okay.
So, Block just retreated his rook from a6 to a8. And
So white played bishop c3.
yeah, bishop c3 was played.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's try to understand this. Okay. So white's played bishop c3, defending, and the threat is rook d8 check.
Yeah, so,
perhaps black should have played king e8.
Yeah, so Black played rook to a8 to cover d8.
Yeah, I think that that king g8 might have been a mistake. I mean, if we go back here, so rook e7, check, king f8, rook went.
Then he went to king g8.
He went king g8. Maybe king e8 was better, and then you're protecting the d8 square.
True.
On the other hand, it's scary. But I think bishop e3, queen b2 check, king d2. I'm not really seeing anything for black there, so it's possible that well then, yeah, because you can't play queen d4 check either because the bishop is on e3.
Look, Ivanov game. Something's going down on Ivanov.
No, we were looking at
Go back to Ivanov.
Okay, we're gonna go.
We're going back to the Ivanov game right now. And Stearman.
Stearman and Ivanov.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm going to go back here just quickly. Rook d6 was played. Okay, so black played a4, rook d6, queen b2, king e6, queen b3 check, king e7, queen e3 check, king f7. It's as though black is self-mating with the king h8 and then checking the king into the
Running
corner.
out of tempos. Wow. Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay, sports fans. Will Black's pastors win the day?
Can that bishop just block that?
If the bishop blocks the pawns, then white is probably going to win.
Chessman 102 is screaming, Josiah's going to win.
This is
nuts. Chessman, LOL, double exclam.
So,
man.
b4. Black has to play b4. I think black has.
Can't you just go bishop d7?
Wow.
b4, bishop d7. Yeah. A3, bishop goes back to e6. Unbelievable. And it started, your folks are right. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Chessman made a bad prediction that Josiah will draw. Rob Todd 1, 2, 3.
King h8. Wrong idea. This goes to show you folks. I wanna talk about this. Yeah.
So wait, we have a result.
I think that black resigned.
Black resigned. Wow.
Okay. I wanna emphasize that it wasn't the mistake is.
We got Josiah here. Come on over here.
The mistake was.
Josiah, take a seat.
Yeah.
Tell us how you pulled that miracle off.
Okay,
man.
so I just want to say, first of all, that
We have FIDE Master Josiah Stearman
Right.
after his stirring comeback.
what to me this was a very critical moment. If black's way of thinking here is incorrect by playing king h8 and saying I'm going to hold the h pawn is, even though that might have worked, it's just the wrong thinking. I think if black just plays the king away from into the center, right, and it's going to take you way too long to advance your G pawn before black can check you around, stop your pawn with the queen, probably long distance, and nurse one of those pawns in. I mean, you know, King H8 is the wrong way of thinking in this kind of position.
I mean, this game should be close to over.
Yeah, and it's possible. I think that black. Yeah, it's and the way you played was very enterprising, and this again is just.
Yeah, I think at this point it's almost a draw. I mean, it's very hard. He only had 3 minutes left, but
Yeah, it might be hard for black. Black just put himself in this situation with the king in the corner, and then chased the white king into his own position, and sort of went sort of led himself by the nose, so to speak, into this kind of position. I mean, of course, the engines will tell you at some point.
Queen G5 is a blunder. I mean, he has to go back to B3 and check after. He has to go back to B3 and check. But.
Okay, which we can't do. But if Queen B3 check, sure. And if King G6, then.
Actually, after King G6, he can play like Queen G8.
King H6, and then Queen F8.
Yeah, Queen F8.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
So if he goes Queen B3, I just go back to E7. Yeah.
And then what about something like Queen B4?
Oh yeah, Queen B4, like a King E6, and then I still have the perpetual. I mean, once he lets my king get in, I have
some
very good drawing chances.
Yes, yeah. Yeah. We didn't have an engine here, but we knew you were lost, and your opponent found the way to hand you the game. Congratulations. Is there anything apart earlier in the game? We don't have an engine here. So
I guess I'll just show you what I missed.
Okay.
So, I mean, this should all be like theory.
There was one thing I wanted to show you, which was Bishop C1.
Yeah, Bishop C1's move, but I'm pretty sure Bishop E3 also is.
Okay.
And this is all fine, I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is equal.
Amazing.
I should have played like Bishop B3 or taken F5.
We were looking at Bishop B3.
I missed here Rook D2.
Rook
I mean,
D2.
I saw it right after I played Rook F1, and I was like, I'm in a lot of trouble now.
Right.
When this happened, the chat from the audience was blowing up, going, "Oh my God!"
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And if I play Rook takes if I play Bishop takes F5 check here, he still has Rook D2.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
It's probably much worse here for white.
Yeah, we gave you not much chance of holding that position, but we started to see black take the wrong.
Yeah, King H8 was probably.
King H8 was pretty
not very
hard.
practical.
Yeah, it was the wrong decision, and it's interesting. It's interesting how just the wrong idea can lead you continually down the wrong path, even if you can have chances later to correct that. Once you get the idea going and you fail to give it up, you're sort of defeating yourself in that way. Very interesting. Congratulations. You're still in this tournament. We were worried that you were going to lose and then withdraw.
I probably would have.
That's what a lot of folks in the online chat were saying. Don't withdraw.
Yeah.
If I lost this game, there was a decent chance I might.
F Pawn said, "There's a guy that can pull this off with a draw. It's you."
That's right. Yeah.
And then there was all sorts of OMGs online.
Do you want to take a quick look at the top board? This was another game that just looked like it was going sort of downhill. Okay, so what happened? He took the exchange, knight e3.
Well, what's wrong with knight a3 there?
Black playing knight a3.
Yeah, that's what I thought he was going to play.
I guess queen b2.
And then we take c1. We're up at exchange.
You're up the exchange anyway, correct? Oh no. Okay, so knight e3.
So what happened?
Rook c8. Maybe black found something better.
Heredia just won her game.
Sort of to finish
Hey, Paul,
Okay,
Heredia
we're gonna look at that.
Heredia just won.
Heredia just won. Okay,
Yeah,
but we're
won
looking
just
at
the-
this. This is maybe even better.
Maybe. Yeah. That looks pretty good. He's up a pawn.
He's up a pawn, and
Wait, what? Oh, it's check.
check,
I was like, and that's the purpose.
and he's still down a pawn.
I would have taken the. I think.
You would have taken the exchange.
No, I looked.
Yeah.
I looked right.
Yeah. Let's go back quickly to that. So when bishop takes c1, rook takes c1, and now knight a3 would have kept the exchange.
I mean, I think so. Is there anything we're missing? There's got to be something.
Knight a3.
No, knight a3 queen b2. We take c1 and bring the knight back to b5.
To b5, yeah. I mean, maybe, white has some positional compensation with the knight.
Knight a3, queen b2, take c1. We take with the queen, and then we're threatening f4 and a3.
This is true.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Very pithy and correct piece of analysis. So we're down here. Black's up a pawn. And all things being equal, with the passed d pawn and everything, unless white can pull off a Hosea Stearman miracle, and then black should be.
Hey, we
black
have
should be
Carla
doing
Heredia
that.
right here.
Okay.
Carla, congratulations.
Yeah. Okay.
How
so
did
now
you
we're
pull
gonna
that
look
out?
at-
Come on over here.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to look at the game. Carla Heredia on versus Joel Marcus. And the last we looked at this, okay, so we were here.
Okay.
Knight B, well, what I'd like to do is, could you show us the whole game?
Sure.
Sure.
So, I normally
We
play
don't
e4
have computer analysis.
Okay.
So we just have to,
head to head.
yeah, tell them. What, yeah.
So normally I play e4, but I saw he plays the Petrov, so I didn't want to.
Okay.
But then he played d6, and now is again e4 opening, knight f6, knight c3, normal, knight bd7, knight f3, a5. So
I've seen this move. I'm with woman WGM Carla Heredia from Ecuador.
Yep.
And she's playing in this the Tuesday night marathon, and this is actually your first game with
Yeah.
three half-point buys. So now this is it,
my debut.
your debut.
So e5, and normally here I play bishop c4.
And
So you can
that's
move.
what I normally. No, you can't.
Ah, okay, bishop c4.
They understand. Bishop C4.
That's like normal. But like when I was younger, I used to play g4, which is I think a Shirov line.
Yeah.
So the idea is to, you are going to play a little bit passive, and I will go all in aggressive.
Right.
So if they take knight g4, rook g1, and then
Attack.
things start happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So he plays 6.
G5 anyway.
G5, I take. Actually, I'm not sure if bishop G5, maybe knight G5. Take.
Okay.
And then I didn't know because I don't want to play bishop C4 because he can play maybe knight B6 and get a tempo of my knight.
Right.
And then develop his bishop on C8. So
Gotcha.
I play queen E2.
Right.
Which-
It's good to play with a plan, right?
Yeah,
so you
so-
play Queen E2 and Castle. I like
Yeah.
this is a good plan. It's a good plan.
C6,
Hey Joel.
Hey,
We're looking
long
at
castle.
your game.
my painful loss.
queen A5.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you want to
That's
check?
okay.
Queen A5. We also have Joel Marcus, who was the loser of this game.
I guess you should
Are you
see it,
gonna put in
otherwise
her
they,
name?
they only see your your body or something like that. Ah, okay.
No, you stay here. You stay
Okay.
here.
So
We're looking for your name.
his idea is to
Yeah,
take
there,
on
right there.
d4, and if I take with my knight, my bishop is on the air, and of course I want to take back with my knight because I can go to f5 if he takes here on d4. So I play rook g1. which, first of all,
Sure.
allows me to take on d4 with the knight, and second, at some point I thought I might play bishop e3 or bishop d2, threatening on g7, and at the same time
Sure.
his queen.
Yeah, no.
So play b5.
I like your spirit, Joel. Joel really went for it. You know, you're playing. This is what you have to do when you're playing a strong player. You have to play your most aggressive game and try to win.
I think this was the best thing because it's kind of hard for him even to do long castle. So I played bishop d2, that was my idea, and he played b4. I analyzed rook takes g7, but he can take on c3, bishop c3, queen a2,
And
and then
yeah,
I don't see much.
No, you need
So knight b1, I mean, we don't like the knight on b1, but it's a good protector actually.
I agree.
He took, I mean, I was thinking he might play king f8 first. And after king f8, maybe a3, c5, and I don't know.
Yeah, suddenly black plays on the king side and white plays on the queen
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, that was my idea. If he plays king f8 to play a3, which was also complicated. He
Right.
took, I took, and now b4 is in the air, a5.
Okay, so this is an interesting moment. Like, black cannot play a4, so a5 is a kind of a defensive move.
Yeah, but at the same time, he has ideas, you know,
Right.
with
With knight b6 and knight
yeah,
a4.
knight a4
Yeah.
or a4 a3 or b3 right
But
away.
a4, just bishop b4.
Yeah, but you
And
know, sometimes
Right,
rook
sometimes.
b8.
No, but it stopped bishop b4.
It stops bishop
I mean,
b4.
at least it restricted the bishop.
Yeah, yeah.
But on the other hand, okay, he cannot play a4, but what's my plan?
Right,
I
right.
have
Yeah,
pretty
it's-
much my pieces in the back.
Right.
So I took here, and my idea was, okay, let's try to open the file.
Now I think you might have made a mistake here by playing bishop a6, possibly.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you should just be calm
Take back.
and take back on e5 and let white and okay. So then white can play knight g5, I guess.
I mean, so pawn takes,
Maybe knight takes. Maybe black can play knight takes.
knight takes. I think I was going to play knight takes,
I thought a lot about it. 'cause
pawn takes.
The advantage of
And then
pawn takes is that I
F4.
can play a4.
No, then maybe queen c4. Because I don't want him to develop his bishop to e6. So take back, pawn takes back, queen c4.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Queen
and
takes
then you
back.
trade spaces off. So
But
that's why part of why I played bishop to a6
yeah.
to stop to
Queen
take
c4.
control of that.
So he played bishop a6. Well, I thought about sacrificing the queen,
Right.
but I didn't see much.
Yeah, the queen e1 looked fine. Yeah.
The problem is, if I was thinking like maybe at some point I will play bishop g5, so I don't want my queen to be on the way. Okay, take back, I took, rook takes.
I wonder if I should have taken first on f1.
I don't think so, because if you take on f1, okay, if I cannot take on f6 because you take back with the bishop and you're giving mate, but I can take on d6 first. And then if you take back on d6, queen takes f1, and then maybe your bishop is on the way.
Yeah, you're just giving white more options.
Yeah, so I think it was okay. This, take. And my idea was knight g5. I sincerely didn't see knight b6 right away. I took rook f8. I took knight h7.
Maybe rook f8.
Yeah, rook f8, knight h7. Because
At this point, I thought, as attacks go, I was ahead. So I was willing to play knight to
But if
b6.
knight h7,
and rook h7.
and then maybe, is it possible to try knight b6 again, or maybe knight f6?
Right, just wait, yeah, do it, yeah.
Or knight f6.
Knight b6. Maybe I can play bishop a6. Attacking your rook on f8.
And what if the knight comes to c4 this time instead
okay,
of,
knight
instead of
c4.
a4?
I see. Knight c4. Yeah, that's dangerous.
Well, the problem with that was I thought you did queen to e3, and then you can swing over to b3.
Queen e3, but I don't want. So okay, rook f8, knight e7, rook e7, knight b6, queen e2.
Actually, one other way.
Knight
What
c4.
What about knight h5 here?
Okay, no, I'm afraid. No, but rook f8, knight a7, take.
Maybe knight a7. Maybe queen e2 right away
But a4. Oh, okay, yeah.
on the rook.
Yeah.
Knight h7 maybe is not doing
Yeah,
you any
so-
good.
Wait, what's wrong with knight to h5?
Right now?
No.
Yeah, right now.
Right now, I just
Oh.
take on f7
With what?
with a rook,
Okay, so then bishop takes knight.
and I play rook d7,
That's not.
sacrificing everything again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be careful with the rook.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Oh, you
in
can't play
the-
rook d7. The bishop's
Yeah.
still on
No, yeah.
d2.
That's okay.
No,
You
no,
play
my
queen
rook-
d7,
so-
bishop
On
g5.
e7, you mean?
No, you're saying knight h5, right?
Right now, yeah.
Rook f7,
Okay, bishop takes
g5, rook on
takes-
f7 to
Takes
d7.
d7, yeah.
Oh, I see.
And black is
I see
giving
what
up the
you're
exchange. White's giving up the exchange, but white
I'm
should have
again, but-
something with the
Yeah.
queen e2. And
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
No, I think rook f8. Rook f8.
And then queen e2. Maybe you should go slow.
Queen e2, rook a8.
Yeah, maybe my attack wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going away, so I might as well just play rook
Rook.
f8.
And now maybe then bishop e3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Play slow.
Yeah,
and then h4 or something.
He played knight b6,
Right. Knight b6.
take.
And now what
no.
about knight c4?
It's same idea, knight c4.
Except for you can't
rook
come
e7,
out.
no? Rook e7.
Oh yeah. Okay.
My idea was so knight c4, rook e7.
Okay.
He has
And then
to-
he has to take.
Bishop b4, take, check.
Right. Okay. So let's say he plays king f8.
Rook e7. Okay.
Which is what I did.
Then go back to e8.
Yeah, I should. Well, going back
But
to
no,
e8.
but Paul is saying with the knight on c4, right?
Yeah, I'm saying with the knight on c4.
And
Bishop
then
c3 is
bishop
still
c3,
still possible.
pawn takes c3, queen c3,
Yeah.
king takes e7. What? b3, so I can take on e5. It's getting wild and crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Com-
Interesting.
Computer, I don't know what will say. Humanly, I think I had chances.
I think so too. So what happened? Knight a4 was
I
played.
Yeah.
That you can see how the knight looks better on c4 anyway, sort of like.
Although, wait. I had some thought about that. That c3. It's nice that the knight is looking at c3.
Yeah, but in a very real sense, that had no impact at all. So this is an interesting moment here.
Yeah,
What
that's
if-
mistake.
What if black had gone back to e8?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out after in the post-mortem.
So bishop
King-
what about bishop e3? Just
I go
bishop-
back to e8.
Right.
Ah, okay,
Now,
bishop
now you
3.
just go bishop e3, queen b2 check, king g2. Show me the checkmates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably c5, king e2. c5.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not so convinced that black has anything.
Yeah, so he played king
Yeah,
g8
then it's all over.
and bishop c3. I'm threatening rook d8
Yeah.
and knight d8 checkmate, and yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
That was the end.
Yeah. And then yeah, pretty much here is over.
Well, we congratulate you, Joel, on really trying to, as I said, and we've had a lot of games like that tonight. You're not the only one, Carla, where the lower rated player has this was the end of the game right here.
Hey, so why you didn't? I saw you play d5. Why you didn't play d5? d4, d5.
Because I'm trying something new.
Oh, really? I was trying something new.
How'd you even? I didn't even know the pairings. When did you get the pairings?
It was on Facebook.
It was on Facebook
Oh, wait, on Facebook, but not the mechanic site.
because
No,
we
the
couldn't
chess.
we couldn't post
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even know there's
So
a Facebook.
I checked you play
Yeah.
the Petrov,
Right.
and then I didn't want to play the Petrov, so I played d4, and I thought you would reply d5.
it. See, we're talking here at the Mechanics Institute about how you can prepare for your games
Well, I wanted
against
to prepare, but I couldn't
grandmas-
get Wait, there's a.
Oh, you
mechanic-
wanted to prepare.
I kept checking for the pairings.
The Mechanics
And
has
Mechanics side.
Mechanics has a Facebook post.
So it's
Mechanics.
Mechanics Institute Chess.
Yeah,
okay.
just search
Oh, okay,
for
and it
us
made
on
it to that
Facebook.
site and not to the Mechanics site?
It did
Yeah.
because we were unable to post because of problems with the IT.
Oh, okay.
That there were some illnesses and people were out
But
and
don't
we were
worry,
unable to post.
I was not prepared for your. I mean, G4 I have played in the past, but I was not expecting
Also,
you to play
Joel,
that.
you can always call us and we'll tell you your
No,
parents.
that seems that's a little too nerdy.
No,
Okay.
it's definitely
Well, when did you know
possible.
the parents?
Yes,
usually
They
they
were
were.
known. They were known on Monday.
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess I
they were
should.
known on Monday. You could have called us.
Okay, next time I prepare against Petrov.
God willing, there'll be a next time. Well,
So
thanks for the
this
game.
is-
That was a fun game.
Sure.
Bye, Joel. Thank you very much. So this is board one, where Sosa Kovian is a pawn down against. And is exchanging, which I think is a mistake, probably.
Yeah.
Against Tenzing Shaw. Yeah, you usually in these positions you don't want to be trading. Although I guess here
F2 is hanging.
you're with the maybe Queen H4.
Or maybe I don't know. Yeah, it seems like.
Yeah, or Queen D6 or something.
So
Well, I don't know.
how many points has?
Both these players have 3 points.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're seeing Sos Hakobian trading into a bad endgame, which is something that maybe he's starting to show his rating a little bit. When you're an 1800 player and you exchange a pawn down against a strong master, I think you're maybe usually making the wrong decision. We have another result here, and this is Diaz and Griffith. Yeah, we didn't like the look of this game, and it ended in a draw.
They're analyzing it behind us right now.
Okay, Karen Griffith. And
Okay. Thank you, Paul. I go.
Thank you,
Back to
Carla.
home.
Thank you very much.
See you
Soon,
Yeah.
very soon. When they're finished analyzing. So we have a draw, and I'm joined again by Cesar. I'm going to take out. Carla is no longer sitting with me. She won her game.
Wow.
And we're going to use technology to remove her name. And we're transitioning back to where we were. Okay, so Karen Griffith and Carla and Conrado Diaz drew this. Finally, we got into this ugly
Clinch.
Is that what they call it? A
Like
clinch?
MMA clinch.
Okay, enough said. This game looked like it was probably heading in that direction, and lo and behold, it did. So on board 2 was a draw. Board 3 was a draw. As we said, Tenzing Shaw is, I think, winning against Sos Hakobian, or very close to it. Stearman pulled one out of the thin air.
Yeah.
He
Miracles
pulled
do
one
happen.
out of the thin air to beat Alexander Ivanov. Very, very disappointing result for Alexander, I'm sure. Let's take a look at Andy Lee. This game was,
Really hard to get that pawn.
and now we've had further exchanges. This probably helped Black a little bit, as long as the infiltration can be stopped. That was a very fine move, A4. I think we're just in time, probably. A little bit more liquidation on the queen side, and white is tying black up. And My prediction is another draw. White is got a nice clamp on the position. Black material. If Black could untangle, do a lot of untangling, just to get off the back row, and then would still have to do quite a bit of work to win this. So
Well,
I'm predicting a draw.
Andy might leverage the time difference here.
Yeah, big time difference.
I mean, it's worth going for.
Black's position is becoming easier to play.
True, there's
move by move.
absolute moves.
Move by move, Black's position's becoming easier and easier to play. And the moves will be easier to find. The time control here. We have not talked about the time control. Maybe people don't even know what it is, people watching from home. It's game in 2 hours with a 5-second delay. That means there's no adjournments. But it also means that we're out of here at 11 o'clock. Come, rain or shine or snow, or it doesn't snow in San Francisco. But, okay, so this game is still going on. Winslow versus Kondakov.
Wow, this is still
A complicated fight. Both the Winslow is a time pressure out. So Queen D2 is played, eyeing the B4 pawn. Black opens the game up.
oh.
Wow.
F5. Black's not wasting time here, folks.
I had like 15 minutes, and I was like, how do I take care of this? And I know I have to.
Very, very
Energetic play by Adrian.
Yeah, if Elliot doesn't get checkmated, he'll probably stand a good chance with that knight stranded out on A5. Of course, his own knight is stranded at A4.
Yeah, everything just drops here.
Very, very sharp position.
You have to admire Adrian's play. He
King
basically
G3,
opened it up.
King G3 maybe to defend the G4 pawn and attack the knight on H5, on H4. That's a move that springs to mind. All right, whoa, very complicated. Sodakova versus Childress. This was a game where Black has sacrificed a pawn, has pressure.
So I was like, well, 6 of 1, half dozen the other. I can't prevent both.
That knight F4 move threatens the pawn at G2 and can't be taken. And it's a nice redeployment of the knight. On the other hand, this is starting to become consolidation for White. In fact, it looks to me like Black is in serious trouble. This whole the knight flight from C3 to G6 has accomplished next to nothing. And now the D pawn is under fire. The C file is plugged up by the knight at C4. This has been a disaster for Black. This has been a disaster. And Natalia Sodakova, I think, is cruising to a victory here. And I'm calling it without the aid of computer analysis. Let's see. Jason Childress having a great tournament, but that he's made some wrong turns here. We saw this was a win for Carla Heredia over Joel Marcus, who gave it his best shot. And that's all that you can do at the Tuesday night marathon. Chambers. We have a long way from this game. We haven't checked in here. Chambers, who was shocked by Sosa Gobian in the last round, and now trying to push home an advantage here. He's winning the exchange. He's trying to trade. He does trade. He's bringing his king towards the center. He's looking for a plan, and that plan is to play b4, b5. That makes sense. And that e-pawn is just sitting there as an asset on e6.
can deal with it. I just get outplayed.
Rook b1.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a good
it's
move.
hours
Maybe a
to get-
fine move.
I'm all annoyed at myself.
Okay,
All right. Good night.
let's see what happened. Rook e8, bishop c3, d4, bishop d2, knight e5, rook e4, knight c6, b4.
B4 should be.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Black accomplished in the last 5 moves. He seems to have fallen behind. Still had a good position.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, that passed pawn suddenly appearing on a5. I think Black dilly-dallied around here for a while here. I'm not sure. Let's go back a little more carefully. Knight e5 threatens the pawn on e6. Knight c6, and that's a sober-looking move, but maybe it wasn't right. Maybe it was a good time to play rook e6, rook d4, and you don't want to give up a pawn on this side of the board. Let's see what happens.
White got that pawn lever just to break the queen side up and get that passer moving. So
let's go back right to here, where maybe Black could have played knight b4 and king takes e6. Knight takes b4, rook takes b4. I see. The problem is you can't play king e6 because of rook b d4.
yep.
Okay, it's starting to sort of gel here for White a little bit. If Black can't make use of his own d pawn, or find some effective way to stop White's a pawn, this is starting to cruise in for a victory here for White. Knight b4, rook b4, rook a6, rook b5 is a disaster.
That's the end of that.
This is Michael Askin. Looks like he might be just sort of folding here or starting to drift. And to me, it seemed it was the last 10 moves where Black's position essentially sort of didn't improve. And there was, if there was any kind of improvement, White played sort of the only plan he had, which is to play b4 and b5. And that was good enough to sort of set this whole rest of this thing in motion. Okay, and of course we had this charming checkmate in the other on the other board on our board 10. So coming down to the wire here, let's look at Sosakobian versus Tenzing Shaw, and where we're standing now. The queens got exchanged, which was definitely the wrong way for White to play. It's just sort of a clear, and not only that, but the White king is cut off.
White king's cut off. Black has the central mobile pawns.
This is a win for Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of Sos has himself to blame. It's interesting to see how he just kind of really made the wrong choices throughout here, starting with the clock, his management of the clock. Okay, we're back to this game. King d2, bishop e4. Have we had any other moves, or is Andy Lee just taking his time? Do we have an answer? I don't know. Have they agreed to a draw, or are they still playing? We don't know. All right, let's look back here. Winslow Kondakov, Queen e6. And again, are we stuck? Has there been some discombobulation with the DGT boards?
I'll go check with Juan. I'll be right back.
Okay, Shaw. Yeah, that would maybe be a good idea. Okay, folks, we are wrapping up round 4 of the Tuesday night marathon. The highlight of the round, in my mind, has been the relative ease that Eric Lee had in drawing with. Let me see. Bishop E. We're still on the same position on these last 3 games. Shaw, Jacobian. Yeah, the DGTs are not going. Lee, there's been no movement on Lee's game for 10 minutes or so. Yeah. No, Andy Lee. Yeah. I'm at 41 Bishop E4. Is that where we are? Yeah, I'm not sure that it's been like that for 10 minutes. It's still that, yeah. Well, he's going to go check up on the other board, on the actual board, because I have a feeling that more moves have been played, and we're. How can it be? What does that mean? It's done, no results. Yeah.
There might have been a result. Might have been a draw agreed. Looks. Is it a draw?
There's some.
It's still playing. Okay.
Yeah. So we don't have the up to date. We don't have the. Manas Paldi is saying hi, Paul, and I'm saying hi, Manas, and I can spell. Okay, so we are stuck on our DGT boards, and we have been, I think, for about 10 minutes. Is everything okay on the DGT boards? No.
Juan, should we reopen and refresh, or?
Yeah, tell us what's going on here, because Winslow and Kondakov have been on this position. We're stuck. I mean, I'll try to refresh here. No, that's just turning the board around. What? Okay, I have. It's not moving. We're not moving here. We're stuck. The remaining games, nothing has happened. Juan. So we're experiencing technical difficulties. We have 3 games outstanding, and I'm going to call them, folks. I'm going to call this, unless in case we don't get it fixed by the time our broadcast is over.
Well, Ezra Chambers is right here. He just won his game.
Okay, Ezra won. Ezra Chambers won.
Come here,
so
Ezra.
That's
We got FIDE Master Ezra Chambers. Come on in there, Ezra.
Didn't really deserve to win though.
okay. Rook D5. Okay, B5.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of were following this. I think you're winning here.
Yeah.
Black has made a mistake. I think Black has not played actively enough.
He
Black
has to
didn't do
try to-
anything the last 10 moves.
Yeah, no, he had to try to blockade with knight a7 to b5.
Knight
or
A7 to
d4
B5. Yeah.
That was like only chance.
This is
Rook b1 is pretty stupid because of that, but like he didn't do it, so it was justified.
White.
Yeah,
White basically plays the only plan he has. This bishop B4 breaks the blockade, so
Yeah.
to speak. And this is Black is just
Yeah.
losing here.
Yeah.
F3. Did Black resign?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just
Well,
quit.
this is lost position.
Well, like I thought I got a great position from the opening, and then I misplayed it somewhere. I'm not really sure where.
I think you need to sort of keep the tension.
We weren't following your game very
yeah.
closely, but
Yeah.
we can take a closer look
Makes
at
sense.
it. Let's look at Shaw Jacobian.
Yeah.
This is still stuck on B6.
I didn't see their game closely at all, so I didn't know.
Well, this there's no doubt that Shaw is winning now. I mean, he's a pawn
Yeah,
out,
he's just a
and
pawn out.
the white king is confined to the corner.
Yeah.
I think.
Turns out I can still win a game.
I know how it feels. Yeah. Did you go over your last game with computer assistance at all?
A little tiny bit,
Yeah.
not really though.
You kind of fell on your own sword in that game.
I don't know what
We're
went
talking
through my
about
brain.
it. This
I thought
game
it was just
hasn't-
better after HG6, like he had the double isolated pawns. It turns out it's like it's equal.
Yeah,
Only
it's
move to
equal.
get advantage is Queen H2, which I saw.
Right,
but
yeah, Queen
I saw that
H2.
move, but I thought it was more complicated. I thought Queen D2 was just an advantage, but I'm worse. Unbelievable.
We're still stuck on our boards, on these boards. Winslow Konnikov is, we have no idea what's going on here.
I think he just outplayed him from the opening though. Like he got like a great
Who's
position.
that?
Winslow, I think he got it.
Yes, but look at this position. This is not,
No, this is not this.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
King G3, I mean.
Maybe there's like F5. I know, because GF5, the queen protects H2.
King G3, H5, maybe?
Wow, that's
That threatens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe F5 there, and then King takes H4. I don't know. Is that too much?
Yeah, maybe. No.
I don't know.
No, it's possible. So
It's weird.
we're lost to DGT.
No, we're good.
We're not good. We're not. There's been no move on Elliott's game now for 10, 15 minutes. And there's been no move on Sos Jacobian's game for 10, 15 minutes.
What about Griffith's game? His game was really weird.
What?
Chiron, Griffith. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That's still there on the board? Outside? Wow. And this position is still on the board for
Who's saying
Lee
they have a
and-
plus
and-
score against me? Who's Chessman
That's hard to
102?
believe.
And against Paul.
What's that?
Someone said they have a plus score against us.
Ha! Okay, so who is Chessman?
Yeah, I need to know.
Okay, I think this could it be?
Shoot, he has a plus score against you?
Against you?
Yeah, but he shouldn't.
No, if Chessman, I don't have a plus score against Paul. I think I know who Chessman 102 is. That's right. F. Pawn, you're too young to have played me. I played many years ago. I think Chessman 102 might be BD. Is that your initials?
Yeah, we need to know. Give us more information.
Yeah, and
lots of
in
people
which case
have a
we
plus
have a
score
draw.
against me.
We have a draw.
Lots of people have a plus score against me.
Oh, minus Palsy. I have a plus score against Paul Whitehead. Is that true? Did we play a blitz game and you beat me or something? Hey, everybody can say they have a plus score against me. We're stuck.
I used to be a little kid. You gotta tell me if that was.
Yeah.
You know, from then. Probably not, but.
Chessman 102 initials is D-O.
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 Oh, Derek.
Derek O'Connor.
Thanks, Derek. You remember those positions? You forgot to mention that.
I beat you when I ran downstairs while you waited for the elevator. Okay. All right. We have a strong national master following us here on and
he says question mark. Maybe it's not Derek. I don't know.
Well, wait a minute now. Chessman 102 says he didn't play me.
Oh,
So,
he didn't play. Oh.
I'm not sure what's going on here, everybody. Yeah. Have you played Derek O'Connor?
Yeah, I kept getting like crushingly winning positions, and he kept swindling me and winning. I mean, kudos to him for like the grit.
The what?
The grit.
The grit.
Like, I would have resigned in some of those positions.
Uh-huh.
It's
Well, let's see, what time is it here? I want to look at the time.
It's not that much. I think it's only
10:25.
Yeah.
So, Juan, I'm going to ask our technical person here. we're no longer getting the broadcasts, right? So can you tell me what happened in these games? Can I find out? There's still those 3 games are still going on. All right, so we have 3 games going on, but we don't know what's happening. Our DGT interaction is no longer interacting.
Do you want me to show my game? 'Cause I could, like...
Yeah, can we look at, while we're here, let's get some quality chess from Ezra Chambers. FIDE Master Ezra Chambers is going to comment on his game. Here, take over.
Thank you. So, yeah. Pretty much, I assumed he prepared against one of my favorite systems, which is Knight C3 here.
No analysis is possible. We
okay,
have to call
yeah.
out the moves like they did in the old days.
Yeah, no, cool, all right. Well, Knight C3 was my main line, so I just decided to play something else. This is normal development. A little bit weird, H6, because sometimes you don't need H6 in the structure. You can go Bishop G6 and Knight F5.
Okay.
So I wasn't familiar with that. Yeah, so here I wanted to go Knight E1 to play G4 and F4 and F5. But I think not in time after C5 or
okay.
Black can move the knight. So I played A4. No, I played Bishop D2 first. Yeah, here actually Knight E1 was better, but was better than all the previous moves. But here I played A4 instead.
You know, put A4 back on the back. White can play Rook C1 and C4 maybe, or C4.
Yeah, but I think the inclusion of the move A4, A5 is better for C4.
Okay, as long as the knights are far from B4 or.
And they can't go Knight B6 because Bishop A5.
Okay. Interesting.
Winning a pawn.
Okay.
So I think this is. So yeah, I played Bishop A7. I was expecting A5, and then I would have played C4, Rook C1.
Interesting.
Maybe not Rook C1 because Knight B6. I don't know, Knight B6 I still.
Yeah.
So yeah, either one.
It's good to know lots of different plans.
Yeah.
You know, C4 is a good A4 or C4 is a good idea for white here.
I played A5 first.
Okay, A5.
So stops any B pawn move.
Space
and C4 is next,
moves.
pretty much.
Space gaining. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This knight on C8 is no scores. It's,
very strange. Yeah.
And now C4.
Okay.
And yeah, I was expecting DC4, Bishop C4, and then like Rook C1 and A6 is coming in.
Yeah.
White has a big space advantage.
And white can
F6.
try to pivot around E4 possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, queen is coming to E2. Bishop can even try to go on H1, A8 diagonal sometimes, like if I go A6, B6.
Okay.
I don't know. There's like lots of ideas to tender up these conflicts.
Tenderize the queen side.
Yeah. Soften it up. But F6, so yeah, here I thought like there should be some crushing
decisive,
win.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it.
No, probably there isn't.
I don't know if this is correct, CD5. I was expecting ED5, but...
Yeah, it looks like ED5 should be played, but he played CD5?
Yeah. If ED5, I have like A6 ideas.
And Knight H4 or...
Knight H4, maybe not, because Bishop H7 and then FE5.
Yeah, you're still going to take on F6.
Yeah, but like E5, A6, and Rook C1 or something. That was my idea during the game. But like here, like it's amazing, because I win like tempos.
It's late here, folks. I'm yawning.
Like, by the way, if Queen B8, Bishop B5.
So Manas Paldi says, Ezra, why not play the main line? You would know it better than your opponent.
You mean Knight C3? Well, it's more double-edged, and like against low-rated players, I don't, I prefer to play like this more.
Wait a minute, hold on. I erased something I said.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How do we reply to this? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's happened with our chat. Oh,
That's
here
cool.
we go.
You have the logo there. Mechanics Institute.
Oh, you can hear me, Manas.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was trying to learn how to do something new. Okay, so he's asking, why don't you? I mean, you were playing an expert, right? Asking.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's no reason to think that Ezra would necessarily know the opening better than his opponent. I mean,
Right.
just because you're a master doesn't mean that you're going to know an opening that your opponent has booked up for.
Most of my opponents are more booked up than me, so.
Ezra could be choosing to concentrate on different parts of his game other than the opening right now, and maybe just not paying any attention to the opening.
Well, when you played the 92 variation, it's more of a structure as opposed to like forcing lines in like a direct attack. So I thought I'd know the structure and get experience in the structure. Maybe try to. Yeah. So rookie 1, I thought this was generally a useful move.
Trying to keep the tension.
There's no threat of black. FE5 D5 is horrible, I think, for him.
Okay.
So.
Black is sort of.
This was a good move. A6, I think, was a good move.
Black is sort of undeveloping.
Well, the idea is knight A7 and either rook C8 or knight C6.
Okay, so if A6 was such a good move, maybe you should play A6.
Maybe I should have. Yeah, I didn't even consider it. I was
because A6 B6. Then boy, that's a nice pawn. Black bishop B5. You can start probing the queen side. Also, you have C6 as an infiltration point
I think it's
for your
BA6.
rook.
Yeah.
If
B6, it's too much. There's both knights don't have that square anymore.
Right.
I think it's BA6, and then maybe like knight A5.
Right, or bishop A6.
Or bishop A6.
And you're increasing the scope of both bishops.
Right, yeah.
So that
A6
makes
was
sense.
just the best move.
So rookie 1, maybe slight inaccuracy. A6, good move. Ezra takes on F6, and black takes.
I didn't really want to take on F6, but like H3 is just too slow. Like if I go H3, he just goes knight A7. So if I go bishop F1, he has bishop G4. If I move the dark square bishop ever, he has bishop B4.
You've run out of moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
I have to. Yeah.
It is possible to run out of moves. It's
Yeah.
great. It's All right, so then this happened.
Yeah, Sorry.
Okay, so this is going to end up somehow
slightly better,
white.
I guess. Yeah. It's not as much as compared to like before.
So what
I
about
could sense
bishop
something
G4
left.
here?
Yeah.
This looks right.
One line, by the way, is
black has to find a way to survive.
If he goes knight A7,
then
I can take on F5, and then if he takes F5, I have knight G6.
Or if rook F5.
Well, if rook F5,
knight G6.
Yeah, knight G6 to F4, and if EF5,
and
knight
E6
G6,
is
and then on rook E8, knight E7, rook E7, queen F3. There's no way to defend both pawns.
Okay, but this is much more logical.
Right? Yeah. No, he doesn't want to.
Right. Especially, like, can you take with the rook? Should you take with the rook?
Well, after D5, knight is coming to D4, and like I think there was like a tremendous. He can't go after D5. He can't go D4 because rook C4. And then
so what happens after rook E5? What should black play here?
Perhaps.
Like if you played rook E5.
Yeah, that's like I didn't even consider it. So that's
just
perhaps
straightforwardly putting pressure on E6
on the whole complex. Yeah.
I mean, D takes E5.
I didn't consider rook E5
is tempting, but there's.
It's a pass D pawn, but the knight is coming to D4.
The knight's coming to D4, yeah, and you're taking away squares. It's interesting though. It might have been an interesting alternative. This is a good redeployment. Clearly,
but he's not in time. That's the problem.
Right.
After knight D4, he's like.
Yeah.
It's over. It's like he goes queen D7.
Ugh.
But then I just take it in E6.
Yeah.
And then if queen D8, I think just like bishop F4. But yeah, here queen H5 just wins. I think so. Like knight F5. He has to give up exchange. Yeah, I don't know about queen A5.
Okay, we're trying to find faster, alternative moves. Sometimes it's not going to be that easy, as it turned out, right? Though, even after queen E5, right?
Yeah, I think he had blockading ideas.
Like maybe queen H5,
or queen G4 was the other
or queen
main
G6,
alternative. But queen G6, like
rook F6,
yeah, I'm not sure. I thought queen G4 maybe, and then try to double, but it's knight B5.
Queen E5, you have to be very confident of your ability.
Which I'm not.
to
and I'm even less confident after this game. So.
Because this proves to be surprisingly not easy.
Yeah, this type
And
of
in
endgame is not
fact,
easy.
it's sort of a position where you have only one plan, and that's to play b4 and b5, which
Or try to win the d pawn, try to surround it. But it's really hard to surround it. Like if I go bishop c3, he goes d4 ever.
right.
Like yeah, it's not.
And that's to provoke d4.
Yeah, because if I had gone b4, I think knight d4 and then knight b5. And it's like really.
Good point. So this is, a real slacker's move, but a good move to provoke. It's funny.
Yeah, because otherwise rook d1 if he doesn't go d4 and I win the. Well, I have much. He has to be really passive, and I probably will end up winning.
Now, knight a7 and knight b5, maybe.
Yeah, I think knight a7 was best chance. Then I think like rook e4 was my idea or something.
Right, and king e2, king d3.
Yeah, the king gets active. He is
and if
passive.
you can play h4 and somehow open him up.
Yeah, I didn't consider that
It's going to
plan.
take somebody
Rook
like
comes to h1.
Karpov to show you how to win these kind of positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karpovian.
Yeah. Not easy.
Way.
Not easy. Black. Now, I made the observation that Black really didn't do anything for 10 moves here.
Yeah,
To try
no.
to improve his position.
No.
You sort of did.
He
what
didn't make
you-
a plan.
You did what you needed to do.
Yeah.
And that's basically the story. This
Yeah.
was a clear loss of time.
Yeah, and I just kept b5.
You know, and part of the thing is that when you maintain a block, when you try to blockade a position, you've got to make sure that it's gonna stay blockaded. You know, if there's any chance for White to do anything, it's involving b5, and that should
Yeah.
have been the first thing that Black should have been thinking about.
Yeah.
Instead, he dithers around, and he finds himself under pressure here. And
I was considering rook d7 after bishop c7, but then here rook d5 and then rook d7, but like he goes king f6.
King f6.
And he sets up some other blockade.
Yeah, no.
Second blockade.
Right. No, your pieces are optimally placed.
Yeah, so he can't just win a
Switching
pawn.
back.
He
What
doesn't
about
just
knight?
take e6
Yeah,
for
he
free.
can't play knight d8. Well, he could play knight d8, and then
I didn't consider
give
that.
up the d pawn for the e pawn.
Yeah.
I think losing that queenside pawn was like you can't allow White to be up the exchange and
have this clear pass pawn.
a clear pass pawn on the queen side.
Yeah,
Sort of
it's
went
over.
to his own death.
Yeah.
Sort of, so to speak. Didn't put up maximum resistance.
Was Derek the one who said I should have played knight c3 instead of knight d2? Because like, is he preparing for that or something? And I'm confusing him.
Yeah, that's a kind of a funny. Comment.
I'm starting to think about it more now.
No, Manus Paldi said, "Why not play the main line? You would know it better than your opponent."
Oh yeah.
My feeling
Derek
about my reply to that, Manus, was that you're making the assumption that because Ezra's a higher rated player, that he's going to know
More booked up.
more booked up, which is not always true. Especially a player like Michael Askin he's a strong player, and he's no slouch, and could very well be as booked up as Ezra.
I'm not. That's like an insult. As booked up, as little booked up.
Yeah. Well, we all have our. I'm not sure how this message. Manus Pauly says I might be a spy for Derek.
Aha, that's what it is.
Well, we are out here. Actually, I can even put Ezra's name, I think, down here. And I'm going to try to do that because I need to learn my stuff, everybody.
The web editing. What's it called?
Yeah, what happened here?
Oh, it's amazing that's not on the screen. How is that like? It's not showing up there what you're doing.
It's detached. But I think down here somewhere we have Ezra Chambers' name, and I'm going to put it up, even though there's probably only 4 people watching. Oh, we didn't get your name there. Here, look, I'm gonna add it. See if I can add it. I'm really gonna do no. Didn't work. Okay.
Yeah, these closed structures like Cans and French are like the most confusing for me because you have to like maneuver and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Even like Leningrad, like I thought I'd understand the ideas pretty quickly because
Leningrad Dutch.
Yeah, because I played like the classical Dutch for a while and then like different structures, but like no, it's all these closed structures are like harder.
I think one of the tricks to them is playing within those structures. There become moves that where you have choices to make, where you can change the structure.
Yeah.
Like somebody said.
Like when you play e5 in Leningrad and then d takes e6, bishop takes e6.
Right.
That structure.
Right. Or when black plays c5, white can take on c6.
Yeah.
Right. And
Right.
And change the structures.
Right.
So if you are aware and cognizant of all these different the ways that they change, then you can sort of pick the one that you might feel is the most comfortable for you,
Right.
or the one that most suits your style, and also the one that and also the one that's not as comfortable for your opponent,
Right,
the one that
right.
your opponent's not more comfortable with,
Right,
or
yeah.
something like that.
That's
So-
good tip.
But you're right, it can be really difficult, but it's good that you're practicing them.
Yeah, that's
against,
what I'm.
against,
you know.
I mean, I was talking to somebody about how, those positions like that you had against Sos, they can be really irritating there are these simple French positions. It was Nick DeFermian who said these simple French positions, and like you can't break through, and then and then
they're
suddenly
confusing. They're like the most confusing structures for me.
yeah, and
Even this, I was like, oh great, last week.
and then
all
there's
over
those
it.
positions where like, should you play bishop on d3 takes a knight on g6, or the knight
On F5, yeah.
or on f5,
Yeah.
where it looks like it's positionally kind of the wrong idea, but at the same time
The bishop just comes to d6. I thought,
Right.
like, the dark square bishop.
yeah, and actually sometimes it's good to
Yeah.
do that, and sometimes it's bad.
Yeah.
So you really have to.
I think the correct plan at one point was just try to play g4, which I did against Conrado one game. It worked out pretty well, but like, I don't know. I thought bishop takes f5 was like playing for two results. Bishop was coming to d6 and stuff, but yeah.
Right.
And then he played g5. I was like happy. I was like, his pawns are all split. Oh my word.
Right. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Black won in the only way that he could, I think, or something like that. We're talking about Ezra's game from the last round that he lost. I think I'm going to take a look at these games here, but I think we are. Oh no, we caught back up.
Oh, resigned.
No, we didn't. But we've got a result, which is that Tenzing won, as we thought, and Andy Lee won his game.
It was some French gambit, right? The Korchnoi gambit.
It was the Milner-Barry gambit.
Oh, Milner-Barry. Oh.
I'm not sure what happened here, but we have a result. And Andy Lee, even though in this position it looked to me like black was securing an
Resigns
equal,
here is
an
a
equal-
surprising
Well,
move
it
to
wasn't
result.
resigns here. More moves
okay.
were played. Yeah. This game ended up as a win for white. We don't know the subsequent moves.
How can I don't even know if black is worse. Like white's more active, but how does he come through?
Well, yeah, a little tied down, but we thought that we sort of thought the worst was over for black. But
Yeah,
as
there
it
was
turned out, white won.
Yeah.
So we don't have.
Stearman deserved to lose, I think.
Are we ending the broadcast?
When you finish, just click.
Or not deserved to lose,
Okay.
but like he was getting crushed at one point.
Oh, Stearman definitely.
He was. I thought he was just gonna resign.
Yeah.
Like,
That was a very interesting. Don't end. Manaspaldi 12 says don't end. Yes, we are using OBS Studio. That's what we're using to answer your question.
This is probably your
So this game was a win for Andy Lee over Munchulen Segmed, Segmed Munchulen. And this one more game that we don't know about was Winslow Kondakov. What happened in this game? Does anybody know? This is
Very weird
the
looking.
experienced international master Elliot Winslow versus 11-year-old, I think.
Yeah, I played
Agent-
him like 3 or 4
Agent
times.
Kondakov. We don't know what happened in this game.
I think he knows some lines pretty well, but then like sidelines.
Right. Yeah, there was an interesting, to me, the most interesting point of the Stearman game was not the masses of theory that these guys knew to get into this opening, but was right here after.
Black was
okay.
winning before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, even here, Black's winning.
No, Black is clearly winning.
Black is winning.
Black is winning. Black is winning. Black is winning.
Any second,
Black
White should
is
resign.
winning. Now here was where I think the mindset,
Right.
the losing, what I'll call the losing mindset game.
We need to close up.
Okay.
We need to close up.
Wait, just show them up.
And
Show them up.
Black played King H8 and eventually lost. King should have headed this way, I think.
Just keep
Out
going.
into the open. Okay, so folks, we are ending our streaming. We're gonna put this little thing here. How do I do this transition?
I have no idea.
There we are. And good night, everybody.